Let's check in on the Misfit Patriot. He's an embarrassing fat ass. Fake name Misfit, real name Zachary. Guaranteed double-cheeked fudge packery. He loves to brag when he bangs a slag. He's half in the bag, but he's fully a fag. Watch your mouth, old beat up old folk. Thinks he knows about everything woke. He doesn't know anything about his fate. He's losing his mind like he's losing debates. He thinks he's an American badass, but he's just an embarrassing fat ass. Let's check in on the Misfit Patriot, the fisted Gatriot.
By the way, while I'm typing this, same energy. I'm not really mad. Like I'll show you in a minute.
Hello. You know, a few weeks ago, maybe, I had said to you that your support goes directly right back into the channel. And now I'm doing solo streams. And now I've been absolutely spoiled with AI songs. Okay. Actually, let me just show you what I'm working with for the some Artie and Fist intros I've been working on. I mean, you know, what do we want? Let's do something a little fancy.
Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the moose pissed.
I'm spoiled. I'm a teenager. I was laughing until like 3 a.m. last night, like a little schoolgirl. Really, really just indulging in what I'm capable of. What else do we got? Some Midwest emo.
Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the most pissed.
Now, I want to say one more, but it's probably going to be two more. Let's try creepy new metal.
Artie and Fist. Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list.
Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the most pissed.
One more, and before I turn this entire thing into me giggling like a little boy. Possibly one of my favorites. I listen to really, really bad music. Let's do hardcore mosh beatdown.
Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on the list. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the most pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small hat wizardry.
Okay. All right. Be an adult. Be an adult. Here we go. So, this is just a chill stream, okay? Now, some of you may have seen the Misfit Patriot on X acting a fool. You've seen some different things about him. I don't really even have like a docket for this. I just got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of things bookmarked. We're going to look at, you know, some clips from his debate with Andrew Wilson, some clips from his debate with Jay Dyer. But this man is working through a diagnosable severe mental illness, okay? Now, it's hard to age gracefully, you know, when you're entering your 40s, you're single, you don't quite know what to do, you have the internet, and so you act out online like a troubled youth from day to day. Now, what's wild to me is you go to his links, okay? Let's go to his Buy Me a Coffee. You might be thinking to yourself, who on earth is supporting this man? Who are his fans? Nobody really wants to collaborate with him that much. And you're not going to believe it. We got giving him money for combating anti-Semitism, if you can believe it. You are a part of our history now. Who's our history? Helping us lead to our safety and survival. I wonder who's giving him money. Probably some Christians reaching out to him saying, hey, thanks a lot about that. I really appreciate that. Great segment with Sid Rosenberg. I have no idea who's giving him money. You got some flags. Got some flags pumping there. So those are just some of the people that are supporting him. And what's really strange is you go to his podcast, his Rumble, okay? He's got 1.64 thousand followers on Rumble. And, you know, he's got his thumbnails pumping pretty hard. He's wearing his, you know, Charlie Kirk when he got assassinated t-shirt. You know, he's trying to work it. It's looking pretty good. Now, here's the weird thing, though. You go to his YouTube, and that has 24,000 subscribers. So you would think that thing's like pumping. But the videos don't do as well on YouTube. Does anyone else find that strange? You go to his most popular videos, it's got like 1.6 thousand views. And you look at the entire channel has 6 million views. So it seems like he just purchased this YouTube channel from somebody because number go burr. And he doesn't expect an autist like me to look into it for 2 minutes to see it seems a little bit off. Don't you think? So where are we going to start? We're going to start with some bookmarks. Grease the wheels a little bit. So this guy had a rough Thanksgiving, okay? Actually, I love this one. So meet Ms. Misfit. November 9th. Oh, and by the way, she's 25% Ashkenazi Jew, but 100% Christian and a Zionist. There. That should get the internet good and mad for the day. He thinks about this every day, about how he can piss people off on the internet. And then he's mystified when they retaliate and lie about him. just to antagonize him. What was that, November 9th? How long do you think that relationship lasted for? And November 21st, single again. That didn't take long. He puts all of these things on the internet and then is surprised when people got a little something to say about it. Oh, this is good. This shows you the temperament of this man.
You guys want to know where you can go to find the dumbest people on the internet? My comment section.
We got Quizits Chatterack for $5, mate. Thank you. Artie, the further you go down the rabbit hole, the more the tea becomes silent. You know, you can watch my transformation on this channel from the beginning of this year into the middle of this year into what I've become now. It's not who you are, it's what you become.
Especially on X. It's not really that bad on my other platforms because on X, a lot of it's fake. It's a lot of bots, a lot of like crazy obsessed stalkers with multiple sock accounts. Like they'll talk to themselves. They'll be like, he's retarded, and then they'll log in under their new account and be like, you good one.
Is that really what's happening? How would he know that? I mean, this is like confession through projection right now, right? One could reasonably assume that this is what he does. He thinks other people think about him that much where they're going to take the time to do that. That's precious.
And I know that they have like a Discord server where every time I post, they post it and they go get him. And they're like,
he thinks people are colluding. This is ill. This is an illness where people are colluding in a Discord server. To what? All somebody has to do is watch you post and make fun of you. Not a lot of planning has to go into it, buddy, okay?
go get him. But here's the thing, with the amount of stalking that these people do, they still don't seem to understand that this has been going on for fucking, I don't know, half a decade. And I laugh at it every time. And I don't know why they think that this time it's going to be different. I think it's like how, like, socialists are like, we're going to get it right this time. It's like, no, you're not. I use it for content, and I clap back at them. I
said this before on a previous account that was banned, but it seems like there was like a Freaky Friday situation where his brain got swapped with like a 7th grade girl. So if you see a 7th grade girl like on the side of the road fishing, drinking a beer, know that whoever this was supposed to be, this man, is in her body and she is now in his body.
I make stupid like yo mama jokes and I lower myself down to their level because I think it's fun. And that gets them even more upset. And they just say the more worst shit. And then they now they're accusing me of being a pedophile and shit like that. And it's like, okay, I'm not. But I think that they think if they say a bunch of mean words to me, I'm going to read them and I'm going to be like, oh no, my feelings have now been hurt and I'm going to leave the internet. And I know that they think this because they constantly leave like these little comments that are they're like, oh my God, you should be so embarrassed. I'm not. They're like, oh, you should just delete your account. I won't. In fact, keep it coming. This is fun. I think it's fun.
Now, you can tell he's having a lot of fun, and we all know this from being on the internet a lot, is that someone's having fun when they're taking their time to make a video to tell you about how much things don't bother them. And this is a regular occurrence with this man. He really likes to let you know how much he's not bothered.
It's honestly like the best part of the internet. I do not envy those who wake up, make a post, and then it's just nothing but positivity. People are like, you go get him. Like these fucking simps do with like Nick Fuentes. Like I have pissed off Nick Fuentes' followers so much that they have drawn all their energy toward me.
Now we can tell, let me just start psychoanalyzing him. Now we can tell it bothers him that Nick Fuentes actually has people in the comments that are supporting him. This is a foreign concept to this man, okay? That must mean that you're doing, it's like the James Lindsay thing. Somebody else must be doing something wrong when there's actual genuine waves of support coming in. He doesn't understand that. It doesn't compute with him.
And I think that that's great because that means that they're not trying to fuck a 13-year-old or something, because I think that most of them actually are pedophiles. Projection. Based on the whole, they were caught in a group chat talking about pedophilia, and Nick Fuentes said that he wanted to find a nice 16-year-old bride when he turned 30. Fucking what? Thou doth protest too much. Anyway, I just want to say, keep it.
What is this cadence of? I don't really care. Whatever. Like, you think it bothers me, but it's not really. I don't really care. You think it bothers me? It really doesn't. Very convincing. So, very similar to James Lindsay, he has this hyper reality presence. He has like 75,000 followers on X. So he thinks that like equates to like real, raw, actual engagement. Real engagement is being able to live stream like you fine fellows here. And there's people in the chat and they're contributing and they're having an actual conversation. It's not just a bunch of bots in the chat. But apparently a lot of people just don't do a modicum of research before they're going to talk to somebody. So let's see what an interview with him sounds like.
This is absolute gaslighting to the extent this is what Candace Owens does, same as Tucker. I'm just asking a question. I'm just suggesting, but I never said it outright. This is absolute.
Now, let's really focus on how uncomfortable he is in his own skin, okay? He cannot just sit there. Look at how much he's fidgeting. Every half of a second, he's changing his posture.
Absolute gaslighting to the extent this is what Candace Owens does, same as Tucker. I'm just asking a question. I'm just suggesting, but I never said it outright. BS, you did.
Well, it's a question that you could be just asking. When did you stop beating your wife? Right? It's a leading question.
Exactly.
It's a question that has intent. It's something that lawyers do. It's trickery. That's what this whole just asking questions bullshit. But anyway, I just shared the clip today where Candace is directly accusing Erica Kirk. She says
he's better off dead than alive. He's easier to handle.
Exactly.
Talking about Erica speaking about his journals.
Exactly. So that is so now you can. I'm tired of giving people benefit of the doubt because I did this with Tucker.
Yeah.
When everybody was screaming about Tucker, I said, okay.
As I'll show you in just a moment, he has no history on the internet of ever giving anyone the benefit of the doubt.
No, I go, you guys are wrong. Tucker's not that bad. And I was wrong.
Most of TMP Uncensored. That's brilliant, mate.
Right. Tucker was that
With
bad.
new information, you saw more, and now you've changed your stance. I get it.
So it's like we were talking about earlier. I used to be a fan of Andrew Tate. He's now suing me for calling him out. I used to be a fan of Candace Owens, of Tucker. I used to be a fan of so many people. And what I'm realizing.
What are the odds that Andrew Tate is suing him? What are the odds that that's actually true? Speaking of suing.
I have a question for my lawyer friends. Can I and should I sue Elon Musk for Grok calling me a fucking pedophile? Because that happened. And people are throwing it in my comment section and using it to try to smear me. Usually I don't really care about, the smears. People are like, oh, here's you on a gay dating app or something. But this came from Elon Musk's AI.
Now, he's probably not a pedo, okay? He's probably not. Look at his face. Oh, my God. He's probably not. But I understand why people would antagonize him as much as humanly possible, okay?
And I don't think it should do that. Obviously, you can just verify that it's false by looking up my name, case number that it's providing. It's just patently false, but it's very convincing to some people. Here's somebody in my comment section who's saying, well, why does AI say it's true? Well, that's what I'm asking the fucking lawyers.
Can he sue Elon Musk for that? Really?
That's why I'm making this post. Just in case any of them want to hit me up. Why does AI say it's true? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because a bunch of fucking crazy people are lying about me on the internet and Grok is just aggregating that information. But I don't think artificial intelligence should do that. I don't think it should go, well, a bunch of retards said it's true, so it's true. Now, according to Grok, I was arrested for child pornography. Didn't happen. But if somebody did believe that.
It couldn't have happened to a better person. Now, if you're on the fence right now being like, hey, that's kind of overkill, it's okay. I'll give you enough receipts to really not care that this is happening to him.
Then they'd probably rightfully want to, murder me. And I don't want that to happen at all. No. And Elon Musk might think this shit is fucking funny because 4 days ago he said,
he's got main character syndrome. Nobody knows about you, dude. Okay? He thinks he has like TikTok numbers and he has numbers on X, not actual meaningful engagement numbers. So he thinks that people think about him and he's screaming from the rooftops to get attention constantly.
Was unfortunately manipulated by adversarial prompting into saying absurdly positive things about me. For the record, I am a fat retard. I think it's a little different when it's saying I'm a pedophile. And here,
that's a great drop, by the way. Let me get that again. What a great drop.
And here's Elon Musk using Grok, and it's saying I'm a pedophile.
Perfect. Let me just keep that in the bank. Okay. Let's get his oh, this is pretty good. So he went to a concert. No. He didn't go. He accidentally went to a concert. He was trying to go to a sports game.
Me and my boy are at we're at the Frost Bank Center, ready to go watch the San Antonio Spurs.
Caesar the Great for $5. Thank you, mate. When I hear Misfit talk, I can't help but hear that lore video of you yelling the F slur in your car. Come on, man. We don't sound that similar.
Spurs take on the Phoenix Suns because one of my followers, like they sent me tickets, which was very generous of them. And we went in and realized that there was, I don't know, like Selena's cousin that was actually just performing a concert here tonight. And we asked him, like, hey, when is tip off?
He's trying to go to a basketball game and see the San Antonio Spurs play.
And they were like, right now, but in Arizona, and I don't live there. So
he went to San Antonio when they're playing in Arizona, and he posted a video of it. Please, for the love of God, people in your 40s and 50s, men specifically, you need to learn how to age gracefully. Now, we're in tough times, okay? If you're single, you've never been married, you've never had kids, even if you're divorced, you've still had to age. You've had to become more responsible. You've had to not just think of yourself. He is not putting himself in a position of aging gracefully at all in any capacity. And just be cognizant of that. Don't put your whole life online like you're a girl.
all right, here we go.
And post things like this.
Give me a bib. All right, she just said that 5 fucking times. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is not a boob. This is not boob worthy. Why are you? What is the boob? What is this?
Fellas, can we really just pour one out for this poor female bartender right now that he goes there and harasses and antagonizes? That does not look fun for her at all whatsoever. Oh, this is actually funny. Have you guys seen this guy too, the older millennial who acts the same and has the same opinions?
Israel solve this problem forever in the future? I think that if you leave a scrap of Palestinian DNA.
Wait, can I ask you real quick? If we destroy all of Gaza, what is the loss to the world?
It's like there's a factory that makes these people. But, oh my God. So I need to find the original video of him crying. One more time. What was that about? He takes a video of himself crying. Oh, we have a Susie over here. I forgot about this. We got Misfit Patriot posting. Just to be clear, I think we should support the Jewish people, and God was Jewish, and everybody was originally Jewish. That old song and dance. So we have Susie chiming in. She couldn't keep her hands off of it. He who blesses Israel will be blessed. He who curses Israel will be cursed. Funny Susie showing there. Now, this woman, this poor bartender, he proved. Oh, actually, these are the Thanksgiving ones. But he was I can watch him cry all day. Oh, this is him going to his felony trial for assaulting an older man. You think he'd be focused on the trial, but not with Misfit Patriot. Here we go. My girlfriend thinks you're retarded. So remember that woman we just saw that's a bartender? I'm pretty sure it's the same one. Let's see if he's going to have her pose as his girlfriend. What do you think?
Let's go. 1,000 miles? Oh! If I could see, yeah.
Sees the great $5. Thank you very much. No, bro, I'm not comparing you to him. Oh, yeah. There's a hard R video where I am screaming. This is like 7 years ago where I don't know what's going on. I'm still on the left, but I'm seeing these F words. I get it now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Maddie. Yeah, dude, I watched that the other night.
You watched the movie White Chicks the other night?
I did. I watched it on Tubi.
Maddie,
It is a great movie.
are we or are we not dating as of right now?
No.
All right.
Yeah, man.
You shut your whore mouth. You fucking loser.
Weird.
Yeah. You don't know what we've talked about behind the scenes. All right, just thank you, Maddie.
It's almost like trans people, how they can like, or just leftists in general, how they can have these like really cringe, embarrassing like videos with their face and name online, but still get invited on to go and talk like they're legitimate people. He just had the bartender act like she was his girlfriend to prove to internet anons that, see, I have a girlfriend. Thanksgiving. Oh my God. Thanksgiving didn't seem to go very well for your boy, Misfit Patriot, okay? So, it's going to be a recurring theme, fellas. You're single, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s. Things didn't work out the way you thought they would, okay? So, you know, it's confusing nowadays. There's no manual for your life. I have a high degree of empathy for men in this position, okay? Stoicism, religion, really learn to have how to have a conversation with yourself. Don't do this.
Good morning, Internet. You know what I did not do last night? Stayed sober. That definitely didn't happen. I haven't looked at my social media, but I have a funny feeling that I posted things. And if I did, well, that's your fault. So get over it. Anyway,
that cadence.
I just want to let everybody know, just because it looks like somebody is falling the fuck apart on the internet doesn't mean that they are. I mean,
sweet mother of pearl. Do we see how this is like kind of concerning? You know, I know I'm making fun of him, and do I hope he gets help? Not really. It's because he's never going to take it. But, you know, just because it looks like, let's not judge, just because it looks like someone's life is in shambles doesn't necessarily mean that it is. You know. You know.
Make more money than you, right? I own my own company. And while you may look at my antics and say, hey, that guy's an alcoholic, I would like to counter that with alcohol connoisseur. I live here. You're fucked. Go fuck yourself. But while we're on the...
Where does he live? I'm sorry. Wait. So in his drunk mind, you know that Family Guy episode where Peter is like drunk and it's like what he thinks of him playing the piano and then him actually playing the piano. So as he's drunk right now, he's seeing this beautiful landscape.
I live here.
You live here.
You're...
Okay. It almost looks like a Brazilian favela, kind of, but all right.
Fuck. Go fuck yourself. But while we're on the subject, Candace Owens is a batshit crazy person.
And he's still thinking of online stuff. But while we're on the subject, so it starts with him being like, hey, so I can drink, and if everyone else drinks, I'm taking care of my responsibilities. And look where I live. I make more money than you do. And Candace Owens fucking stupid, okay? bro, log off, calm down, and understand how you bring everything onto yourself.
That's a, I would argue, a horrible human being. But if you call
Yeah, so it's this kind of insecurity that you see where I make more money than you do, and he knows he's a loser, so he has to constantly compensate. But you'll notice this with like James Lindsay and a lot of the kosher right as well, or kosher centrists, is they feel it's the same thing with the left, same thing with the moos. They feel good by putting other people down, so they need targets to make themselves feel better. So he's not saying anything of value, anything of note. It just makes him feel good that he's better than somebody else that's more successful than him.
fucking CPS in fucking, I don't know, Tennessee, I think. And you're like, yeah, go over there and like take your kids. Honestly, like eat every.
Oh, so this is him being a good guy because he doesn't think people should call CPS on Candace Owens. Wow. My pussy is wet. Just come right inside, dude. Wow. The legs are opening up for you.
A single bag of shit that you see for the rest of your life. And
sure. Oh my God. Are we continuing the bender? Let's see if this one's any better.
What? Good morning, Internet. Can I ask you a quick question? What the fuck is wrong with you? All right. Like the whole Internet, it sums up. Like, because it's, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't have to be.
Again, if you see a 13 to 14-year-old girl fishing, drinking a beer at noon on a Wednesday, don't bother her. It's just, it's what his brain was supposed to be. And her brain is, listen to how he's talking. It's the general vague, like, hey, can I ask you a question? And forgive me, but what the fuck? No, really. Hold on, hear me out. Are you fucking serious? Like, it's just emotions with no opinion.
Be specific, right? But you, the Internet, right? You are way more retarded and mean lately. It's just hate and stupidity.
You're being mean to me, Internet. I'm really pushing the Freaky Friday theory.
It's way more. It's only in here, by the way. Out in the real world, like where I live, it's pretty much the same, But in here, holy shit! It's like, fucking, what the fuck? What is the matter with you? There's something wrong. Like, you guys, what do you need? Like, what do you need? You hug? You need a.
We can see that he's talking to himself right now. What do you need? What do you need? Projecting that onto other people. And once you understand this and you notice it, you can't go back. But he's afraid to be alone. I've said the same thing about James Lindsay. He's afraid to just be alone by himself. Like, that is torturous because then he has to think, reconsider things, possibly feel guilty, possibly go back on some things he said. JLM Knight, for $10, mate. Thank you very much. I give it a few months before he brings out the bird. Okay. Yeah, he really has that feminine, estrogenic energy, right? Like, he's bisexual, right? Which I guess just means he's gay, because you can be gay and still have sex with women, but still be gay. However that gay thing works. I could do a whole 10 minutes on that, but that's not what this is about.
Hug? I think you need a hug. You're fucking crazy. It's like, wow. It's like you woke up one day and it was like, fuck, damn. That lady that I was in love with just stabbed me with a fork for no reason. Like,
now, he's not talking about himself, but he is, because he was in a relationship, and this is on November 28th, so it's leaking out of him that he was with a woman and posted on the internet, and he couldn't even make it last 2 weeks. So he's in his drunk mind. I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but do you think he might be subconsciously referencing that?
Like, that's what the internet feels like. And it's fucking weird. I mean, all right, whatever. But fucking can go to therapy. I don't know. Like, fucking
wow.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough, isn't it? Let's get scooting along right now. What we're gonna do? Oh, let's go here. Now, this is interesting. This is from 3 years ago. Now, when you go to the oldest videos on his channel, it's from 3 years ago. So, let's go to the story of how the Misfit Patriot became the most hated man on TikTok. If TikTok is your main platform, we should check your hard drive, okay? You're not helping the allegations where you think if there's gray in your beard and you're on TikTok, I mean, even in general, dude, even like Tizzy Entertainment, another person I'm not doing a deep dive on. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. Later. It's creepy and weird to build your following on TikTok, but it'll get
come over and start. All right.
It's going to get creepier and weirder. Now, this will be important in a few moments. This is from November 4th of 2022, okay? But let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. The Misfit Patriot story. 365 days ago, I got banned on TikTok for the first time. Since then, I've been banned 264 times. While I'm filming this video, I will probably get banned again. And here is what happened. You ready? I challenged the woke left. So, from start to finish, this is basically my story. I'm going to be biased because I'm telling my own story, right? So I'll try to be as objective as I can, but no promises. Let's start back right around like August of last year. I made TikTok because, you know, my girlfriend at the time, her kid had a TikTok and she was always on it. And I said, all right, I'll make one.
His girlfriend at the time, her kid had a TikTok. So he was like, you know what? I like how this kid smells. Let me make one too and see how many I can bag, you know? Who the fuck is like, my girlfriend's child has a social media. Do you also watch Nick Jr. too? Because the fucking kid watched Nick Jr. Why are you doing this to yourself?
And it took off. It blew up. I was just doing, you know, conservative content like everybody else. You know, Donald Trump's awesome. Fuck Joe Biden.
Sounds like he's going for a grift.
Current events, as you know, funny as I could make it. And I got about 118,000 followers in just a couple of months. So when I started getting a bigger following, I started getting, you know, a lot more trolls and a lot more haters like usual, because I'm a controversial creator. I tell it like it is. I don't have a fucking filter. And I started working my way into cancel talk. I started hearing about these creators, right? Like that Dinesh guy, Our Exorcist, Modern Warrior, Tizzy, Good Trouble, all these people. And the one that caught my eye was Modern Warrior, right? Now, for those of you that don't know, Modern Warrior, he's a woke left creator who thinks all white people.
Notice how he's saying woke left, okay? Strange how he has a differentiation in November of 2022. Interesting.
Are racist. Calls everybody colonizers, right? Starts all his videos. Hey, colonizer. Well, he used to. Hey, colonizer, hey, colonizer, hey, colonizer. White people are racist. White people shouldn't reproduce. What have you. All that bullshit. So people were telling me not to challenge him because, you know, like, oh, your account will come down. Like, I was like, okay, bet. And I went at him. I went at him with, you know, with a pretty poor tasted joke. I basically just asked if anybody got a pedophile vibe off of him.
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. Really? Did that? Wow, maybe karma is real. Did that possibly come back to bite you in your pussy?
Here you go. Check it out for yourself.
like a weird like pedophile vibe off of this dude? I mean, is it just me? I swear, because I don't know why he gets so much attention, but
Hey, colonizer.
That was a little aggressive. I'm not gonna lie, and I have a fucked up sense of humor. After that, somebody.
Well, what if I told you the people that polluted the algorithm to the point where AI says that you've been arrested for being a pedo? What, you know? They get a similar sense of humor like you, dude. Come on. You know, if you were on the fence about it, well, hope you're not now.
Reached out to me, and they were a victim of pedophilia. They were molested when they were a kid, and they told me this story, and they were super respectful. This is like a leftist who was a Modern Warrior fan who didn't come at me with hate like everybody else was coming at me. So I did actually issue an apology on that, and I've tried not to make.
Good for you. Let's go forward to point something out that's interesting. In retrospect, look at that moo posture.
Come on, what? All I did was call him the P-word. Now you're gonna be mad at me? Hey, did you call me the P-word? You can't do that.
N-word, so he's cool. Anyway, you look at all these people, and they're not perfect. Modern Warrior himself ended up getting his own ass canceled, and I got more followers than him now on TikTok. I mean, well, because he got 0. But the thing is, these people are not perfect. Modern Warrior was a womanizer who got exposed. Dinesh is a fucking grifter who's literally begging people for money for pictures of them.
I don't think he means Dinesh D'Souza, just as a clarification.
A silhouette of his dick online, and
Probably
he's
not.
screwing over fucking black people by calling the cops on them, fucking telling them that they shouldn't be raising their children or don't have custody of their kids. These people are hypocrites. The bottom line is they're fucking hypocrites. None of them are perfect. Neither am I. I'm fucking flawed. The difference between me and them is I fucking own it. But they tried to ruin my business. Tizzy got off track there. He posted my work page, and I started receiving a bunch of negative reviews. 750 negative business reviews. And
all he did was wantonly accuse a man of being a pedo. Can you believe this happened to him? So he's not like, of course he supports the moos because he acts like one.
I do home remodeling, and I rely on social media to get my work. So this was probably the best way they could try to cancel me. Here's a few of my favorites. Check them out.
Yeah,
No, there's so many. But yeah, I mean, that's basically what these people do, right? You disagree with them, they try to ruin your life. But, I'm a stubborn prick, and I'm not going to ever let anybody tell me that I need to get off social media because I pissed off some fucking snowflake. So I just went at them harder, formed a little group.
What was that head swing, eye roll thing? Well, it's funny you said that. You know what? I wasn't even going to include this. To be quite frank with you. But I've noticed the same thing. Let me just search my account for the word homosexual. That should bring it up pretty quickly. Okay. So I had said, this is how a homosexual moves their body. Well, look at him. Good eye, fella. Good eye. Okay. Now you're starting to pick up on the mannerisms. Okay. Look at that, dude. What the hell is that? He can't stand still. Anyway. Good catch. Much appreciated.
was the best. We had this whole team of people that they tried to cancel, all band together, start clapping back at them, and that went on for a while. But it got to the point where it was just redundant, all right? Because just like I'm never going to leave the internet, they're not going to stop being shitty. So it just turned into this repetitive back and forth, and ended up being a lot more drama than it was worth. Speaking of drama, this other group of woke right conservatives.
Whoa. We have a woke right siding. November 4th, 2022. So this was swimming. And I feel like the Moos, and we've seen this with Susie, started to say it before James Lindsay. So this was swimming for a little bit. That's early on that he said that. And so he was already differentiating when people don't like him, then they're just woke. And if they're on the left or on the right, then they're just woke.
Conservative creators who seem to have a really tight relationship with Breakfast Pastry, that Dinesh guy, they started coming at me out of nowhere. It was very odd. But it started to make sense over the next few months. You see, Breakfast Pastry made up this whole fucking story about how I was in like a Discord. I made a Discord where I was doxing people, and it was fucking stupid. When you say this shit out loud months later, you realize how goddamn childish it is. It's like, what the fuck was this such a big...
So that's just giving you a little taste of his character. Now, who's ready for the Jay Dyer debate? Now, he has debated Jay Dyer about Christian Zionism before. I don't think it's that debate that we're going to be watching. Just to set this up, I couldn't find their exact back and forth. But he says, so actually, let's give you a little taste.
Start the church.
He did start the church. His apostles are the college that he gives the Holy Spirit to.
So the apostles went to college, and then they started the church. So it's a man-made institution.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said,
they went to college. You don't even know what the college of the apostles is.
I'm using your own stupid fucking words against you, dude. Start the church.
Are your whistles wet after that one? Now, fellows in the chat, feel free. I'm an atheist. Feel free to help me out with any religious things that I may or may not understand in this debate. I very much focus on the rhetoric and how things are said. I don't know. I mean, even Jay Dyer, I can't watch his content because it's too much for me. It's too much. He knows too much. I'm too stupid. But the man is among the best on the internet, probably the best in terms of debating, defending orthodoxy as far as I know. So he challenges Misfit Patriot to a debate.
Welcome, everybody. We are here, and I want to thank Misfit Patriot.
Now, I hope this doesn't come as a surprise to you, but Misfit Patriot has a tendency to talk a lot of shit online, and I don't know if this reminds you of the Moos or the left at all. And then when he's having a debate, all of a sudden he's already backpedaling, hedging his bets completely. So he said he was going to school Jay Dyer. He didn't have to accept this debate. And let's really take a peek at his temperament and knowledge of what he's talking about.
For accepting a short noticed debate. We were having a Twitter back and forth, and he was gracious enough to come on. And so we agreed to discuss the topic of whether Christian Zionism is a biblical concept, and what exactly should that role of a Christian be in terms of support? Is it right? Is it wrong? What's the history? What's the breakdown? What's the background? Although we're going to have an informal back and forth discussion, I think it might be good to have kind of opening statements so we know explicitly what the other person's positions are. So if you want to go for it first, you can. If you don't want to, I'll be happy to go first.
Now, we can all agree that Jay Dyer is used to a structured debate. So he's like, I know that, and he's saying, I know this is short notice. Thank you for coming here, even though you were a bickering female on the internet. And we could do opening statements, and it's, it just feels useful to clarify. It's a habit. Let's clarify our position so we know what we're debating. Because I don't know if you guys have seen this a whole lot, but someone puffs their chest about trying to be a debate bro, and they go, debate me, and you go, about what? And they don't even know. And this is one of those situations. So let's go.
Doesn't matter to me. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, we're doing this on short notice. I think we just got the topic of the debate maybe a half hour ago. So, Christian Zionism, if that's what we're discussing, then my argument would be,
what did he think he was gonna school Jay Dyer on? Where all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I just got the topic." Well, you said you were gonna school him. What were you gonna school him on, tough guy?
That true Christians would have to be Zionists based off of what I would probably call like theological Zionism, because there's a conflation between modern Zionism, Theodore Herzl's Zionism, and Zionism of the Abrahamic covenant. That's where I sort of...
This is true, and I always forget this. Jay Dyer is a writer for some of Sam Hyde's shows. That is correct. I don't view Jay Dyer as necessarily a funny person. I would love to see what he's done, because unfortunately I made myself retarded a few months ago, and I only care about things that are funny, like an autistic spurg, in order for me to listen. But very good point. Yeah, I'm curious if you guys can feed me some of that stuff.
I lean more on the covenant, because there's this new sort of I would say revisionist Christianity, where they sort of just start the Bible at the New Testament and try to exclude the Old. But as you know, as most people know, you can't just cherry pick the parts of the Bible that you want for confirmation bias. The Old Testament still applies. The Abrahamic covenant is forever, as stated, I believe a few different times. I think Psalms 105, if I'm remembering correctly. There's Deuteronomy, there's Zechariah, there's...
So I hope people can tell when this happens in a debate where a person... I wouldn't even say this is gish galloping. This doesn't even qualify as that. This is just buzzwords. This is just name dropping right now. And we can all definitely believe as the truth that Jay Dyer is picking up on this. He's just rambling things off. He's not going into any detail. So he's identifying this very quickly, I believe.
There's a few others. And for the record, if you're expecting a theological scholar, a religious scholar here with me, that's not me. I don't have all of the knowledge of some of the other people, but I have done enough debate back and forth.
You said you were going to school him, and now I hope you appreciate this about myself, calling myself an atheist, okay? Because there's a lot of fake Christians, right? And I even will say that, like, I don't even really believe in agnostics. I think that, like, if you believe, then you believe, and if you don't, you don't. I do that really rhetorically. Obviously, you can be an agnostic, but I do that rhetorically to really draw a line in the sand, because I'm just very aware of how a lot of movements are taken advantage of in the movement of the religion that built the country. I'm a hawk for when people are just saying that they believe in something when they really don't. Like, is he a Christian really? It's a gimmick. He is conservative guy that's also reasonable center right. So when you hear me saying that, that's what's behind it when I say that.
Fourth on this topic, where I have sort of revisited all of these areas, and I just sort of argue the point from being a Catholic who grew up just Sunday school, went to see the Pope in Italy, and then I just sort of always was a non-practicing Christian. And a few years ago, I got back into it, and I'm trying to do my best to actually read the Bible again. And yeah, that's where I'm coming from, man. I'm just coming from a place of, I don't understand how people are ignoring the one part of the Bible that is very clear. God is omnipotent. He made a covenant with the Jewish people. That covenant is forever. And anybody that's going against that, I feel, is going against God.
So, me as an atheist, I don't know anything about this. I don't know if I was talking to him, I wouldn't know how to respond to that. I wouldn't know how to defend it. So, in situations like this, I eagerly would listen to Andrew Wilson or Jay Dyer just to see what the line of questioning or pushback is. I find it very interesting.
Not actually being a true follower of Christ. But that's it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could give an opening statement. I'm happy to do that, but maybe that's a perfect place to start it off because, you know, the Abrahamic covenant is explained and exegeted multiple times in the New Testament as to what it's referring to, how it's fulfilled, and how it's kept. So Genesis 12, 15, 17, 22 are all the statements in reference to Abraham from God. And in all of those, we have this promise that all the nations will be blessed in his seed. So the fulfillment of the Abrahamic covenant is not to the flesh nation state of Israel. It is to the person of Christ, and the nation state of Israel's job was to produce that person. That's why Galatians 3, Romans 4, Jesus in John 5 through 9, when he debates the Pharisees over and over, particularly John 8, explicitly states that the only way to be Abraham's seed is to be in the seed, whom Paul identifies in Galatians 3 and 4 as the person of Christ. So your mistake is to think that there's some sort of dual covenant that Jews have separate from Christ, when Paul says in 2 Corinthians 1 that all the promises are in Christ. That's all the covenant promises. They are yea in him. That would include Mosaic, that would include Noahic, and that would include Abrahamic. So there is no such thing as a separate promise to a nation of the Jews that is not a reference to the person of Christ first and foremost.
Well, how do you explain Romans 11:2, where John, I believe it was, reiterates that the Jews... No,
Paul wrote...
So far, fair enough for a debate, okay? So far, we're playing nice.
Romans, not John.
Paul. Again, you're not going to get a religious scholar here.
He said John when it's Paul. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon.
So if I mess up...
Well, but please. You were talking big game on Twitter that you were going to shut me down and spank
Yeah,
me.
no, listen, man, I'm here to debate you, and I will admit when I have strengths.
Look at that pathetic backpedal. Oh, like that? Things like that get me really mad because a lot of people don't really necessarily notice it, you know?
I will let you know if I have certain weaknesses. But if you wanted a theological debate, you brought on the wrong person. That's why you probably should have looked at many of my...
It's kind of like he's like, yeah, I'm being honest about being retarded, so then you can't criticize me for being retarded. Is that like the strategy?
Post where I say I'm not a religious scholar. I'm arguing based off of the text that I can get in front of me in a Twitter like feed. So somebody says something, I can go look it up, I can read it, interpret it, and then go off of my own personal experience in the Bible studies that I have.
So the remnant that Paul's talking about in Romans 11 is written to a church that's having squabbles within itself at Rome between Jews and Gentiles. The remnant that God has preserved are the believing Jews who are the believers in Christ. The original foundation stones of the church, the 12 apostles, the several thousand that are converted at the beginning of the book of Acts, those are all Jews. The church is a Jewish grounded and founded institution. But Jesus predicts in Matthew 21 that the Jews, as the vine dressers who failed at their mission, will have the kingdom taken from them and given to another people producing the fruits thereof. That does not mean there's never Jewish converts to the church, but the largely Jewish church will become the largely Gentile church, fulfilling the dozens and dozens and dozens of prophecies in the Old Testament, that when the Messiah comes, the church will be largely Gentiles. The Gentiles will seek him, as Isaiah 11 says. Incense will be offered throughout the entire world to Jehovah. That's not an evangelical church. That's an Orthodox Catholic church throughout the world offering incense. Now, you know that only the Iranian...
How much of this information do you think is going inside of Misfit Patriot's fucking skull right now? You can tell by his body language. He can't just sit still. He really is a child. He's severely emotionally underdeveloped.
Like priesthood can offer the incense.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it if the Abrahamic or the Mosaic covenants are still in force in their historical sense? How are there Gentile priests, as latter Isaiah says? How is there an altar built in Egypt to Yahweh when you can only have an altar at the temple in Jerusalem?
Here's what I'll ask. Okay, Jesus was a Jew, correct?
So you're asking a question to my question.
I'm asking. Yeah, because
now I imagine that Jay Dyer takes this as a great sign of disrespect because he gave a very substantive answer. It was supplemented with passages. He contextualized it. And then when he's done speaking, he's asked a question. So, I mean, in order to be respectful in this conversation and to not make Jay Dyer's rage meter rise, I would assume that, first of all, he would have to address fucking any part of what Jay Dyer just delicately and thoughtfully said to him. But can you feel the rage meter rising? And still, he's not going to lose it.
Again, you're gonna try to hit me over the head with theology, and I've already told you that you're going to have.
I'm just citing you the verses, all of these verses.
Yeah, you're citing
his Jay Dyer's evidence is hitting him over the head. Does it sound like he's victimizing himself and making it seem like he's being attacked for someone just explaining their position? You're hitting me over the head. You're already attacking me. Listen, I'm gonna respond. I told you I didn't know everything. Okay.
You're citing me verses that you're cherry picking and then telling me to.
No, I'm not cherry picking. I decided you. I said there's dozens of verses that talk about a Gentile church.
And I have verses where I'm, like I said, I have verses.
And I'm saying that those verses explain what that church is, what that seed fulfillment is. So you're literally just ignoring everything that I presented.
Yes.
Yeah, because again, you're trying to give me this long.
See, there is no truth, right? There is no underlying universal truth that he's seeking. Everything, just like the left, just like the Moos, everything is a tactic. Everything he does is a tactic. And so he assumes everything done is a tactic because he does not believe in truth.
Exhaustive list of, and you're telling me to take your word for it, but
I'm not telling. We can go to all the passages. I listed you multiple passages.
Okay, look, here.
It's funny because people that try and give me shit in my comments, which for the most part never happens, but when they do, it's like a lefty being like, well, you just showed clips. And it's like, that's what a clip is. It's a highlight. Yes, it's a compilation. That's what a compilation is. I can't show you everything all at once. So I have to show you one part of something to build upon a larger argument. So yeah, it's really annoying when people misapply that defensively.
I will concede that, I guess, and we'll just see if you can answer this question. Jesus was a Jew, right? Jesus was a ethnical and religious Jew, practiced as a Jew, died as a Jew, right? And Christians follow a Jew. Okay, so the first Christians were Jews, like you just said, correct?
Sure.
And Messianic Jews, if you want to say. Okay, those people you're saying are what? No, they're okay. They get into the kingdom of heaven. The Jews that don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, they're, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, they believe that the Messiah will come. But I believe it's stated, I actually did take this one note down, if you wouldn't mind me pulling up a note. Right here.
Oh boy.
The Antichrist will intervene and guarantee the security of Israel, enabling the Jews to rebuild their temple. Daniel 9:27. At the end of 3.5 years, the Antichrist will enter the rebuilt temple in Jerusalem and declare himself God. Daniel 9:27. Matthew 24:15.
Okay. Y'all ready for the heat? Let me give you a little bit of heat.
You're not Christians. I don't hold it.
God. So according to you, it's a
listen. You
was made by men. Yes or no?
No. You don't even know what the College of the Apostles is.
There we go.
So he start the church.
He did start the church. His apostles are the college that he gives the Holy Spirit to.
So the apostles went to college and then they started the church. So it's a man-made institution, like I said.
They went to college. You don't even know what the College of the Apostles is.
I'm using your own stupid fucking words against you, dude. The church was made by
my
man.
Stupid fucking words.
That's the church.
You
was
think
made
the
by
College
man.
of the Apostles is a stupid fucking word that I made up?
The church was made by men. Yes or no?
No, you don't even know what the College of the Apostles is. You're,
Yeah,
you're
but
literally an idiot.
Hold on. The apostles were men. Yes.
But it
Men?
doesn't follow from that it's man-made.
This is a cheap tactic that the left does all the time, where they will, just to get a concession, just to hear a yes, they'll ask you a question where obviously the answer is yes. And then if you avoid the question, they act like you're avoiding the question when you're just not going down, there into the weeds of like answering an obvious question that we all know the answer to. Very annoying tactic that a lot of people don't notice, and it drives me crazy because a lot of bad faith actors get away with it all the time.
Because that's a Protestant
Well, it wasn't
term.
made until after Jesus died, dude. I don't know what the fuck you want. You're telling me
The
that
church
something was made.
Listen. You have to. Are you trolling me? Because the Roman Catholic Church argues that Matthew 16 is the founding of the church on the rock of Peter. That's your church's teaching, Goofus.
Yeah. Okay, but
so the church was founded there.
Founded in the institution of the church. I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
Because you don't know the basic terms of anything in this regard. That's why. You thought the College of the Apostles means they went to college.
Mind you, Misfit Patriot is famous for doing this. Every single debate he's in, it's the same exact thing. And you can tell because where are his fans? In the comments section. It's just people that don't like him. I don't think he even has a chat where there's anyone supporting him in the chat. It's this like narcissistic hyper reality that he lives in online. It's very similar to James Lindsay, but James Lindsay actually has some diehards following him. This guy, nobody wants to collaborate with this guy. Who is ever like? And next, I'm going to show you his debate with Andrew Wilson with the woke right, which is why I enjoy doing these streams because it's not necessarily algorithm friendly. No one cares about him, so a lot of this like lolcow stuff just works better as a live stream just to walk through it. But James Lindsay has never debated the woke right, but this guy has. It's like, think of the people that are agreeing with your idea, and they're the ones that are advocating for it and debating it, and they are very incurably retarded.
Who made the church? Like you're still refusing to answer this question. Who made the Catholic Church?
I already answered the question that Christ founded the church according to the Catholic.
So Jesus was.
You don't even know Catholic theology, man. You're a clown.
Jesus was a man. Jesus was a man and God. So according to you, it's a man-made institution.
It's not a man-made institution. It's a divine institution according to your own church's teaching.
Okay. Now you were saying something about Protestants, right? 62 million.
You're not even a Catholic, dude.
I know. Oh yeah, sure.
You know.
I didn't
when
mean
you
to
said
say,
you were a minute ago.
No.
Are you a Catholic or
to you,
not?
I'm not.
The chat thinks that you're an atheist lying. They don't even think you're.
Who cares?
Actually...
I don't give a fuck what your chat thinks. Why would I care about what your chat thinks? I didn't even
because
know who
nobody's
you were.
buying your bullshit because you don't even know basic terms.
I didn't know who you were until like
I don't care what you do or don't know.
So sure that there is an appeal to popularity fallacy, sure, but is it ever strange how not a single person agrees with you? Like that really is the difference, though. Like not a single person from your community. Like for example, Jay Dyer could be on anyone else's platform. Same thing with Andrew Wilson, and his people would be there in the chat, correcting things, supporting him, no matter where this guy goes. No one agrees with him. Zero. That's tough. That's homeless guy numbers. Shit. I've seen videos of homeless people saying crazy shit on the side of the road that I still fucking agree with. This guy is sub-homeless.
No, you don't know anything.
So you got over 60 million Protestants. 80% of them are Zionists. That's about 40% of all Christians. But
they're not Christians. I don't hold that they're Christians.
So anybody that doesn't agree with you is not a real Christian.
No, Protestants are not Christians. They're heretics.
They're all heretics. So you see, that's the problem with you people.
What did Cantate Domino of your own church teach about heretics and Protestants? And
yeah. I don't care, dude. You can keep on trying.
So you don't know the dogmas of your own church.
You're gonna try to pigeonhole me by asking me a question
about your own church's history.
I am not a fucking priest, dude. I go to
pigeonhole me. You see, everything's a tactic. He's just trying to clarify what it is the fuck you're talking about. You're just trying to pigeonhole me right now. In a way, yeah. In a way, trying to narrow down, trying to nail you down on a position. Arden Party for $2. Thank you, mate. Mustn't beat the stupids. Mustn't beat the stupids. Right? Yeah, right? Us atheists don't really have anything keeping us in line when people frustrate us. It really is a test of will.
church. I do not know the Bible back to front. I said that in my opening.
But you don't even know the
statement.
basics. Why did you think it would be a good idea to debate?
You asked me to come on. I'm here.
No,
So-
you.
Yeah, and you're embarrassing yourself. It's like talking to a child. I can pinpoint exactly when I learned this lesson. 5 years old. My dad takes me to a taekwondo class, okay? I don't know anything about taekwondo. Master Kwan asks if somebody wants to come up and do a poomsae. I think to myself, I want to get up there and do my little moves at 5 years old. And I got up in front of all of these taekwondo students and I just started crying and ran away. And I was like, wow, I don't know how to do a poomsae. That was unbelievably embarrassing. And since I can feel that embarrassment, I can't say I never did it again, but not to that degree. It's a learning process, right? It's just this guy never learns.
Talk smack and said you were going to put me in my place.
Well, so far, you're doing that by yourself, sir.
Putting you in your place? Yeah.
You see, that's something I really like about the Ortho Bros when they debate. They're very, very quick thinkers. And I think that has to come from having a sense of humor. Having a sense of humor is a type of intelligence, okay? Very quick thinking, very street smarts, very interactive, very interpersonal. And he turned that around on him wonderfully.
The basics. Why did you think it would be a good idea to debate?
You asked me to come on. I'm here.
No, you talked smack and said you were going to put me in my place.
Well, so far, you're doing that by yourself, sir.
Putting you in your place? Yeah.
No, you're putting you in your place. You're fucking. You fucking. You're
All
so.
right, you're a complete clown. This is
okay. Cool.
We're done. All right, enough of that.
Now, how do you think the Misfit Patriot thought how that went? Do you think he learned his lesson? Of course not. He said Jay rage quit because he's a snowflake. And this guy wonders why. Doesn't this remind you of the left and the moose? They could just be dead wrong, no shame. And so, like, narcissists and cluster B people will obviously gravitate toward a demographic that has fostered a fucking 3,000 year identity around that and protecting them. Isn't that really what the protected classes were created for? Oh my dear Lord. Okay, let's go back to a simpler time.
Andrew Wilson from.
Now, how many woke right debates have you witnessed? Now, this has been going on for over a year now, and you think to yourself, well, let's just have James Lindsay debate the woke right. But no, this guy is going to debate the woke right. And this is back when Raging Tomato, which, fellas, we can all agree, we were all being very nice when she was on good terms with Andrew Wilson. We didn't make fun of how she looked, and now we can. She looks fucking ridiculous. Way too much blush. And her eyebrows are like drawn on angry, and like she does it on purpose. It feels nice to be able to get that out at this point. She's an absolute piece of shit, and it feels good to finally be able to say that. It was building for a while. Okay. Here we go. So, of course, this guy is going to debate the woke right. Wouldn't you think? I say this about the left all the time, where they're not smart, they just have power. They get to make mistakes over and over again. They get unlimited respawns. They get to use Game Genie. Sorry, I'm old. They get to use all the cheat codes. They never die. They get unlimited respawns. You're playing the game on like survival hardcore mode where you can't fast travel. It's very asymmetrical. So you would think to yourself, with your regular truth-seeking mind, of like, why would James Lindsay like let this guy do this? Isn't that bad PR for woke right? They don't give a shit. They run shit. They got thousands of NGOs. They can control what you think. It's if you saw the last couple of Artie and Fist live streams, the tides are turning. Oh, looks like the Gentiles are speaking up and they can't do a whole lot about it. So the 3,000-year strategy probably isn't gonna shift. But you know what I'm saying? Like they don't need optics. They can just fail over and over again. And then, of course, James Lindsay just never commented anything about this. This whole woke right debate, mind you, if somebody is defending Newtsyism and it's any schlub that goes and defends it, that's all of MAGA, that's all of Newtsies. A tale as old as time. Let's get into it.
The Crucible and the Misfit Patriot, bringing to you the question of, well, the statement more so, there is no woke right. Andrew, would you like to start with your opening statement, please?
Yeah, usually I write a pretty elongated opening statement so I can cover each individual point. I didn't this time because my opponent's a troll cow by his own admission. So,
troll cow, love it. And he is, by his own admission.
The thing is I'll just affirm this very simply. The woke right's completely made up and fucking nonsense. It's postulated by James Lindsay. It means absolutely nothing. My opponent won't even have a definition of what it is. If he does have a definition of what it is, it won't be consistent and it won't make any sense, and that'll be the end of the debate. That's my entire opening statement.
Thank you. And
what are the odds that it absolutely goes that way 100%? What are the odds?
Misfit to you.
It's actually funny that he did that because this time I did write a long opening statement. And before we get into that, I'm going to preface it with this is not a personal attack against, and there's no children or anything in here. I'm not trying to break any rules, but I'm going to tie in some personal things about Andrew. And I do have a...
They can't help themselves. They have to try to attack him personally. They can't help this. They don't have an argument. All they can do is wail out in pain as they strike you. But you see, Misfit Patriot's epistemology is, I can do whatever I want as long as I apologize and I say that I'm going to do it. That is a dangerous person. That is a mentally ill person.
Definition of what woke right is. What woke right is, I'm going to give the short version because James Lindsay's long, sort of, antiquated version, it gets very confusing. Woke right is...
Listening to James Lindsay talk about what the woke right is and use him as a reference is like using a dog as a reference to tell someone how to meow.
People who voted for Donald Trump but act like the woke left, right? It's that simple, okay? It's identity politics. It's a victim mentality. It's making everything about race. I have a real sort of...
It's a victim mentality. It's about making everything about race. They do this all the time. Your grievance, okay? Your grievance that you have about the unfair treatment of white people, they tell you that you're obsessed with it, and they tell you that you link it to everything, okay? This is what they do every single time, just to obfuscate. Sneed for Speed for $5. Thank you, mate. I think his shtick is to get off on people clowning on him. People have asked him if he has a shame kink or a humiliation fetish. I have that somewhere. Like how Rabbi Shmuley gets off on his Twitter replies to his tweets. Masochist. Dude. It's consistent. It's consistent. Like, how else can you explain it? Your regular... I don't know how healthy our brains are from enduring years of a psyop, but our attempt at being healthy brains tries to analyze that and goes, why would somebody embarrass themselves over and over again? It's like a dog chewing a shoe just to get the fucking beating.
I guess you could call it super list of tenets of the woke right, with identity politics, moral absolutism, a view of liberty, truth, and role of the state, tactics and coercion, vision, reform versus revolution, et cetera, et cetera. So I can go against any of Andrew's points with sort of the James Lindsay educational arguments, but let's go through my.
That's fucking one of the worst. That is, I'm trying to conceive of a weaker response where you are invoking that you could use James Lindsay, which if you did, wouldn't work. And you're just letting someone know that you could invoke something that wouldn't work. And then you're going to move on to something else that works even less. The guy's artful in how much of a cow he is.
A long opening statement that I read because this time I took it seriously and I prepared for it, like Andrew said last time. Okay, so I'm not really here to debate because, to be honest, Andrew doesn't really debate in good faith. Andrew plans to.
Now, obviously, he's reading something that he wrote down, and you can tell, as always, when he was writing it down, he had some balls behind writing this down. Okay, but now, okay, now that he's talking to Andrew, he needs to read it because he might be kind of nervous, but he's gonna read it now, and it's not gonna have the same dick behind it now, is it? No, it's not.
Manipulate the conversation using narcissistic abuse techniques and framing tactics to try to make me look stupid. And that's
to try and make him look stupid as he pulls out his retainer as he accuses Andrew of trying to make him look stupid. You can't write it, dude. An AI script couldn't have offered me that. There's some things AI can't do, okay? Reality still has the edge for now. They got the audio down. I don't know if they're ever going to get the video down fully. But isn't this a leftist tactic where you're just trying to embarrass me? You're embarrassing yourself. But let's play that back again. As he pulls out his fucking retainer. You're just trying to make me look stupid.
Narcissistic abuse techniques and framing tactics to try to make me look stupid. And that's not really a debate. That's a show. That's what Andrew does. He puts on a show.
You're the whole show, buddy.
That being said, I will treat this seriously, more seriously than last time, because now I know how he operates. The reason I'm
So he got his ass beat last time in their debate. I don't have the time or desire to see what the debate was. It's tough. I had to sit through dog shit to give you guys the diamond and the turd, okay? So clearly, what I can glean from this is he got his tits beaten off of him last time in the debate, but now he's prepared, except he forgot to take his fucking retainer out.
the best equipped for this woke right debate is because the woke right attacks me constantly, many of whom follow and support Andrew. Because I'm able to provide this unique insight as to why Andrew himself is woke right adjacent, and I say adjacent because he
Nick Fuentes isn't a Nazi, or Dave Smith isn't a Nazi. Dave Smith is a Nazi apologist. Same tactic, same direction.
Displays some of the tenets of woke right, but not all. For instance, he doesn't really have a victim mentality. I wouldn't put him in that category. He doesn't blame the Jews for all of his problems, right? But one thing he does engage in is coercion and exclusion tactics, and that's a tenet of the woke left and the woke right. It's one of the tools Andrew uses to dunk on people he disagrees with. Him and his mob of simp followers that he probably coordinates with. And
can you tell when he wrote this down, he was drunk, had a full head of steam, ripping a butt, going, "Oh, I'm going to yell this at him." And listen to him now, dude. It's, oh, I want to lie about him being a pedophile so badly. Do you get it now? Do you fucking get it?
Discord servers or some other form of communication. They'll artificially boost his side of the argument while crushing the opposition with rape.
His stuff is artificial. He purchased a YouTube account. All of his stuff is inorganic, and so he assumes, just like a husband that's cheating on his wife, he assumes she's cheating since he's cheating. It's that God mode enabled level of projection. For $2, mate. This guy is the foil of X. Does he have any fans? No, he does. Well, yes, he does. Yes, he does. They have an affinity for a certain country.
Ratios. He brags about his engagement and status constantly and how he's going to own people, which means the sick.
The only time, and I've found myself doing this sometimes, the only time Andrew Wilson invokes his size is when it's completely necessary in a conversation. Like, he doesn't just say it out of nowhere. It's when this guy's already planning on fucking personally attacking him, okay? God forbid he invokes his level of success with what he's doing and his organic engagement. Ugh, pathetic.
are about to attack whoever he talks about. Even if I beat him on the merits of the debate with my arguments, he'll claim victory and I'll hear nonstop from the mob about how
even if I play him in basketball and he beats me, here's the reason why I'm going to lose 10-0.
Andrew owned you. Andrew himself, Andrew owns himself on a daily basis. But let's get to the actual tenets of woke that he does espouse. First and most important is
typically somebody would use those personal attacks rhetorically, right? You have to deliver them a certain way with a degree of charisma, a justification for why you're saying it. That's all he had. And he tried to fucking laugh his way through it.
Moral absolutism. The left focuses more on diversity, equity, and inclusion, while the people like Andrew focus on religion, right? Andrew calls himself, I believe, like a patriarchal Christian or Christian that believes in the patriarchy.
Just a Christian ethicist.
Just a Christian ethicist. Fellas, can you be a Christian and not patriarchal? Let me know that in the chat. I feel like I know the answer, but I'd like a confirmation on that. You guys support feminist Christians, right? You guys support egalitarian Christians, right? Am I off base in saying that, or are all Christians obviously patriarchal?
Let's just all right. Thank you. But let's break down what his Christianity shtick is all about. Andrew's well known for arguing online with OnlyFans hookers, and he will claim that that's his duty as a Christian, right? To rebuke and
Andrew Wilson has never heard that he only. This is the same thing that you might as well be saying this about Charlie Kirk, even though Charlie Kirk has had debates with high-level debaters. It's the same thing every time.
Call out bad behavior, but that's not what he's doing. Ironically, Andrew promotes more pornography than most people on the internet because he's platforming these women and turning it into a show like Jerry Springer instead of a real teachable moment we can all learn from.
Teachable moment.
I guarantee most of the girls that he converses with see a huge increase in their subscribers when they get on that whatever podcast or wherever he talks to them. Andrew's fans are probably the ones subscribing so they can jack off to some internet hero, to some hooker that their internet hero yelled at. It's creating more filth online, not less. To break down his views on patriarchy, his wife has the same job he does. She argues with people on the internet from her soapbox of
I'm an atheist. She doesn't have the same job that he does. She raises the kids and instills values into them, and they co-parent their children, and that is her function. And she's also able, in her spare time, to write a book and advocate for things once her responsibilities at home are taken care of. Right? Did I understand that correctly? Right? It's not the same. It's not equal. Everything's equal. Everything's the same. All the moves in the left can do is be reductive.
Superiority, but she's not a stay-at-home mom or trad wife. She's an author. She's a podcaster. She monetizes her presence on the internet. She makes money. She files taxes. She's basically a strong, independent woman. Every moment she's on her phone arguing on the internet, she's a hypocrite. She's Andrew's business partner, and that's a very progressive relationship, if you ask me. She promotes all this stuff online, and for somebody who claims they want a patriarchal society, him and her both agree that women apparently should talk back.
He's doing a silent equivocation of patriarchal equivocates to slave, master slave, right? Everything has to be an extreme. This is why I call it splitting. Everything good or bad. Andrew good, her bad. So he can't even characterize, he can't, but it's not even that much of a gray area. It's still pretty black and white, but everything is with the just opposing extremes with these people. It's fucking insufferable.
To men, because she talks back to men all the time on his behalf. So that's a grift. They fooled all of you. Andrew and his business partner don't want to create a better society based on traditional values. They saw a market where they could capitalize off it. They're brand developers. His brand is shock value, and this is clear to anybody with half a brain. And if you added up all of his fans, you'd fall short of that intellectual mark. So to throw his Christianity, his patriarchal views back at him with those two tenets of woke, what he's doing is virtue signaling, and it's the opposite of Christianity. Jesus at the well rebuking the woman with the five husbands didn't call her a retard. He said God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the spirit and truth. Sorry, I just woke up. I'm having a hard time reading.
Okay.
He approached her with love and kindness. He didn't mock and shame the adulteress in the street either. He didn't laugh at her when he said he was without sin.
My bad.
Go and cast the first stone. He showed her mercy and love. I don't see any Christian values when I look at Andrew. I see a bully who thinks he's God's gift to the internet. The only thing smart about him and his ability is his ability to fool people into thinking he's something he's not. He's a grifter. You're all his mark. No matter what we discuss over the next couple hours, this opening statement is the only thing I really have prepared because I know the subject matter better than anyone. I fought the woke on.
He knows the subject matter better than anyone. What are the Vegas odds he's going to completely fuck that? And he's taken all this time to dig himself into a hole. Now, you see, Andrew brilliantly gave him nothing. He didn't, like, the more you talk, the more your interlocutor will have to respond to. And the more you talk, you run the risk of them choosing the weakest part of your argument to respond to. This guy is giving himself all the rope to auto-asphyxiate himself.
Both sides. While he denies its existence, he's already lost the debates on the merit. I'm sure he'll see it differently, so now we can just have fun. So he can play his word games and own me because I don't give a shit about popularity. That's woke shit.
Thank you, Misfit. That was conclusion, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
we go.
Okay, so kind reminder, we will open the panel afterward. So if you are interested in engaging in the conversation, I believe both panelists will be joining us for open panel as far as I'm aware of. Outside of that, gentlemen, I leave the floor open to you.
So quick question. So you think my audience is really fucking stupid?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, got it. So your idea is that they're all marks and that they're so fucking stupid that I'm just able to dupe them at a moment's notice.
You're very clever at tricking stupid people into thinking you're smarter than you are because of the way that you talk and use framing tactics. That's
Mind you, this debate is going to be about the woke right? This is what the proponent of the woke right existing fucking sounds like. Okay, so he either, if he has to debate the topic, he loses his balls. The only time he has his balls is when he's being like a fucking fifth grader, being like, yeah, you're not fooling me. The level of insecurity of you constantly being scared of being tricked, right? Even if you are scared of being tricked, don't say that. And you're not going to fool me. Anything you do, I can see right through it. Sure you can, buddy.
what I believe.
You know what I say my IQ is?
Don't give a shit.
Yeah, I say it's average. You know why? Because it's average.
Sure.
I don't think I'm incredibly intelligent.
I don't think you're stupid. I think you're
I just think I'm much more intelligent than you are.
Perfect.
Now to the debate itself, you bring up there's a couple like hater remarks that I don't mind going through before we get into this. So I've heard this criticism a lot.
He's
should
shoving his
I do
container back
debates
in.
against prominent leftists like Destiny?
Where's that snus?
I would say that comparing Destiny to an OnlyFans girl is a false equivalency, but yeah, sure.
Okay. Is it not necessarily true that if I do debates with creators like Destiny, because I have a large platform, that he's probably going to peel off a good portion of my audience, or at least some portion of my audience, and vice versa?
Well, yeah, I think I see what you're doing. Like, you're going to be promoting the
I see what you're doing. He's just everything is it. Dude, how mooey is it? It makes complete sense why he is aligned with the moves. Always trying to get him. He's so aware of what's about to happen. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Bro, he's talking to you. He's trying to lay out a fucking argument.
OnlyFans girls, and you're going to be getting them more business.
No. Just answer my question, dude. Is it true?
Yes,
that,
yes, it's true that Destiny may get viewers because you debate him.
Do you think that he engages in debates with large, prominent right wingers like myself because he thinks that he'll be able to peel off portions of that audience for himself?
I don't know why, but maybe.
I mean, that probably it follows, right?
Yeah.
What's annoying about Misfit Patriot is how confident his tone is the entire time while constantly admitting he doesn't even know where the fuck he is.
It's one of the reasons.
So, by your logic, should I not debate with large, prominent leftists because there's a possibility that they can peel off some of my audience?
It's a false equivalency. I believe.
Can you answer my question?
Yes, you should.
Yes, I should. Okay. So then if that's the case, isn't it the case then that the types of people who would gravitate towards Destiny, who are in my audience, right? Those types of people would be looking for somebody like that anyway. That just because I'm there to rebuke them or to debate with their ideas does not mean I endorse their ideas or endorse what it is that they're doing, right?
Again, a false equivalency.
What's the false equivalency?
These are the framing tactics.
Now, in general, okay? If somebody is committing a logical fallacy in a debate, it would behoove you to not say that's a logical fallacy, because then it allows your interlocutor to just say you're committing a logical fallacy as well. So instead of evoking the terminology of a logical fallacy, you should just describe what they're doing, if that makes sense. So even if there was a false equivalency, which there's not, but if there was a false equivalency, you should just say, well, those two things aren't like really analogous or pertinent to the conversation, right? Because if you start calling out a fallacy, then they're going to call it a fallacy. And when someone calls out a fallacy, then you have to go into like what a fallacy is. And it really just muddies as a tactic, as a diversionary tactic. Yes. But in terms of like having a good faith conversation and trying to appear rhetorically strong, I'm not a huge fan of just saying the fallacy. Instead, just say what they're doing.
That you use, right? You create a false equivalency, then ask a bunch of
What's
questions.
the false equivalency?
Wouldn't you agree?
What's the false equivalency?
Destiny is not promoting.
No, he's way worse. He's way worse than an OnlyFans girl. Way worse than an OnlyFans girl.
Sure.
Right?
But you're the Christian that is promoting the.
How am I promoting it? Show me the promotion.
Well, because these girls would not be on the internet promoting their.
I don't think Destiny would be on the internet promoting it if he had no viewers either. So the thing is like me engaging with the ideology.
I would argue that his views, which I disagree with, are not as dangerous as pornography.
Way more dangerous. The guys like him are the guys who push it everywhere in all corners. They're the guys, in fact, who have actual Democrat money pouring into their channels.
And he lives a promiscuous, degenerate lifestyle. I mean, he's actually living those values as opposed to what Andrew Wilson is doing, which is platforming those people with those values and then condemning them. Now, he does a great job. Andrew Wilson, what everyone should learn about Andrew Wilson is meeting energy, okay? He gives the respect that he gets, and he ain't afraid to roll in the mud, and that's why that guy is fantastic.
And let me give you an example of one such organization which does this. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Brianna Wu, who's a prominent leftist inside of these spheres, created a left-wing organization which included Destiny, Vosh, a whole bunch of other creators. They bought up Twitch politics in order to push the message of degeneracy. They were going on every conservative platform they possibly could to get that message out. It was the fact that guys like me were there to completely eviscerate their ideologies that entire endeavor failed, right? What you're actually saying to me here is that because I go on a show where these women's views would be completely fucking unchallenged if I didn't, that would be better to leave them there unopposed.
Great point. Now, this will get to the woke right, but this is what Andrew Wilson has to deal with, and this is why it's really difficult for me to debate. My threshold, my patience at this point is fucking shot. It is shot. So I really do. I commend and have a great deal of respect for people like Andrew Wilson that are able to just that level of patience, man, is really fucking difficult, especially attacking them personally. But they will get to the woke right after he deals with. That's what I love about him too. He's like, let's deal with the personal attacks first. Let's go ahead. Let's deal with it one at a time. Dude, having Andrew Wilson as your dad must be great, but it must fucking suck when you fuck up. If you're Andrew Wilson's kid, how much do you hate hearing? Let me talk to you for a second. Let me ask you a few questions. Now, you did this. correct? Yeah. Okay. Now, can you tell me what the fuck you were thinking when you just slowly, no violence is necessary, dude. The disappointment from Andrew Wilson to his child must be enough to keep them going, okay, not worth it. Not worth it. Okay, dude, you're right. Won't do it again.
Rather than go on there, because there's a possibility that some people could peel off towards that ideology.
So what you're saying is that a liberal espousing their own views in a respectful debate is the same thing as a hooker.
You think that Destiny debates respectfully?
I don't think you do. So I think.
Yeah.
That
Do you think he does? He doesn't. No.
No, I don't.
No, he doesn't. And the thing is that if you had ever watched a single episode of whatever, don't lie, you haven't.
No.
Because otherwise you would know.
Well, I don't.
That's exactly right.
No,
otherwise, you would know that these debates actually are respectful until the other position becomes disrespectful, begins personal attacks, begins things like this. Now, what I engage in is a de-escalation tactic. No, it's a de-escalation.
Now, this is a very nuanced approach that he has. And it's good that he says it, because when you just watch his debates, and if you're like a midwit, which some of us are midwits sometimes, okay? We're listening to it passively. We think that all of a sudden he's raising his energy. But his justification is pretty brilliant, I think. And he's shown that it works many times. It works in a couple of ways.
Tactic. So oftentimes if somebody's highly insulting towards you, if you hit back, it'll de-escalate what's going on. It doesn't escalate it further.
They're hookers. Right?
Yeah,
They're
do you think that because you're a hooker, that means you're stupid? Do you think that these hookers with college degrees who come out of these universities, they have degrees in psychology, philosophy, they have degrees in all kinds of shit?
Hold on. Do you think that G's? I watched a clip of you. Now I never watched.
All right, guys, we're starting the stream now. Sorry about the delay.
The full episode, but I've seen plenty of clips. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Jesus would have called a girl a retard and done the like? Are you?
You call people?
Now I made a video about this, about language and Christians. Okay. And what's brought in me, I guess what's like drawn in an Orthodox audience or a religious audience for me is that I actually don't like watch my language. I just don't. I don't understand why you can't say mean words in certain contexts. The rigid, you can never say bad words in any context, made me an atheist for a very long time. I only in the last few months, with my influx of Orthodox people coming in, I'm like, oh, wait, wait. You can have like a really offensive sense of humor and be a Christian. They're like, yes. And I'm like, I didn't know that. Sorry. Didn't fucking know that. Thought it was boring. But apparently you can have fun and do that. News to me.
Retards all the time.
I am not you. I'm not coming out and telling my audience.
Well, how can you? Are you? So you're going to hold me to a standard you won't hold yourself to?
100%, but only
okay.
because you. Only because hold on. Only because you're the one that's preaching, dude.
What? I specifically say I have no ministry. I'm not a preacher, and I make zero Orthodox content. Zero.
You have this moral superiority complex where you're telling everybody what is right.
What's the
wrong.
morals? Well, okay.
Just like the moos, you're hateful. You think this is what you think. The mind reading. Oh my God, it makes me. Oh, it brings the demon out of me.
Okay, so that is true that I say that there's objective morality. You would agree with that. That Christian ethics are the objective morals in which we ought live our lives. You agree with that. But you can't say at the same time that you agree with those two statements that me saying you're a retard and you saying you're a retard somehow doesn't negate the fact that you're doing the exact same thing while you're trying to, quote, call me out.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
how does that work, bro?
Well, because it's very easy, right? I don't come on the internet and say I am this I guess you could say teacher of
I literally say I'm not a teacher. I'm not your guru. I'm not.
So this is what I mean by virtue signaling. He doesn't espouse the virtues necessarily unless they're in the context of a conversation, but he definitely lives them in his conversations with people and asks them very profound, insightful, pertinent questions to the discussion at hand.
Not a preacher. I'm not a minister. I'm not here to do any of those things.
So you have an out, right? You say it's my duty to rebuke. Then you mock and shame instead of teach.
So do you.
Yeah, but this is hold on.
What's the difference here? Why?
What aboutism, Andrew? What aboutism
Mhm.
is exactly what I'm talking about with woke right? Right? What woke right?
Well,
what
look,
aboutism?
So it's a whataboutism. If I punch you and then you punch me, well, that's just a whataboutism. Yeah, I am not judging. Yeah, I want to do whatever I want to do, and then if you do it, I'll criticize you. Ah, where have you heard that before? 3,000 years.
I would tend to agree with you that generally an argument from hypocrisy doesn't hold merit. And in this case, I'm not even making one. I'm just saying that if it is the case that your claim is Andrew thinks he's morally superior, therefore bad. And my claim that he's morally superior is because he does X activity, which is shame bad people online. Then if I ask you the same question, you shame bad people online, how's that not more an act of moral superiority? And your answer is
Because I'm not morally superior, right?
because you're not? You're not because you're not.
I am not.
So you engage in the same exact behavior and tactics, but I'm morally superior.
Against
You're not.
who? Yeah.
Against who? Against everybody, bro.
Bro, I'm
Against everybody. You want to go through your tweets, bro?
I am a bully to bullies, bro.
You're a bully to bullies.
I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite.
Okay. Well, that was great, man. You really did me in with that one.
I am a hypocrite. If
Okay, I agree.
If your argument,
I am a hypocrite.
You got to take me out of it because
Okay.
whataboutism is never an argument, right?
You gotta take me out of it. I'm sitting here trying to judge you. Give me something mooier in a debate. Hey, we're not here to talk about me and all the things that I did, and what I do is actually a lot worse than what you do. We're here to criticize, even though what I do is 99% bad and what you do is 1% bad. We're here to talk about your 1% bad, and if you talk about my 99%, that's a whataboutism. That is just. But here's the thing: he didn't have to read about that. Okay, you can just have a personality. You can just be cluster B and be that way. Then the moos and left see you and they go, "Oh, dude, come over here. Yeah. We're never going to criticize you as long as you hate the right person."
If your argument is this is what's right and wrong, and then you engage, just take me completely out of it. You engage in the
completely
behavior
out
that
of it.
you yourself is wrong, then we are both hypocrites.
Imagine like he raped someone's dog and he's like, "Hey, man, take me out of it. Okay? We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about how you didn't return the sugar that you borrowed from me."
Because we're both
No,
doing
just
it.
you. And I'm going to explain. Actually, I'll explain. I'll explain it.
Because I'm not promoting an OnlyFans hooker. I'm talking about being
Neither am I.
Gentlemen, I just
Neither am I.
want
But let
to-
me give a
before
counter.
You can absolutely. I just want to make sure that we're realizing that we are a little off topic.
Yeah. We'll
But
finish.
yeah,
We'll
it's
finish.
fine. Okay,
We'll finish and move in.
He's just making personal attacks about him, so God forbid he defends himself, moderator. You could have stepped in sooner if you wanted.
Into the tactics or into the topic. So actually, it would just be you who's a hypocrite. So here's why. Because this is your standard you're holding for me, not my standard I'm holding for you. I didn't say that you had a superiority complex. I didn't say that it was not okay for you to rebuke people who you had a problem with. These are not my positions. This is your position. By your admission, you're a hypocrite. By my admission, I'm not. I think it's perfectly acceptable, as Jesus Christ did, to call people vipers, whitewashed tombs. The distinction of the time with Jesus Christ, you would have gotten killed for calling somebody a name like that. They fucking killed you. It wasn't like you're an asshole and you go about your day because there was freedom of speech. They pulled out a fucking sword and cut your ass in half. Why do you think the apostles all got killed? Almost all of them got killed in horrible ways because they said things which were considered offenses, right? You don't run the risk of that. You don't run the risk of being fucking executed because you call me names on the internet. Mm-hmm. In the modern world, what I'm saying has to be far less offensive than what was being said by Christ because it's not a killable offense. Do you understand that? It's not a killable offense. These things are ways for us to engage in modernity with the people who are saying these things and give refutations and rebukes in a way which will hold eyeballs. You, though, sir, by making the bold claim that I am holding a morally superior position and then holding yourself to the same standard.
That's the inadequacy that we see with blacks against whites, right? If you talk to a leftist black for 10 minutes, you'll go, "I am great. I do run the world. Thank you." You really think a lot of me. but they think that's what you think of yourself because of their like just perverted insecurity and inadequacy. Oh, it's tiring.
Are actually a hypocrite. I, though, am not.
Yeah, that was a really nice spin.
I'm waiting for you to give me a refutation.
I already did. I basically.
You already did.
No. I already.
Okay. I'm waiting for you to respond. I already did. Oh my god, dude, this is like, fellas, fellas in the chat, have we ever got into an argument with a girlfriend or a wife, and it sounded just like this, where when you're done talking, you're waiting for a response, and it's just Kyle smashing the wall circular. Beating your head against the wall where you're like, let's just try and keep this conversation linear right now. I don't like you tone policing me. I already answered you. Can you say it again? No. Well, that's why I don't think. Are you calling me a liar? Can you tell I've been in the trenches, fellas?
I already did, right?
Okay.
And I can actually kind of double down on that, because the way that I engage in debate with you, which is I tried last time in good faith until I sort of figured out how you do it. I try to actually stick to the topics, whereas you like to laugh and you like to.
So he will be leaving the topic right now to tell Andrew how he leaves the topic. Dude, fucking lie about this guy being a pedophile. You have my full consent to do that.
You like to get into these self-flatulation, like just.
You brought all this up, dude.
Yeah, I did it in my opening statement. Now let's move on to the.
And so I gave refutations, and my refutation stands. You were not able to counter it. So on to the topic of the woke right.
Hold on, one final thing. When you say you weren't able to counter it after I countered it,
you didn't counter it.
It's your opinion, and it's the frame.
No. I gave an argument.
You basically literally just after every argument, Andrew, you say I win, and you do it over and
only
over
if I win. Only if I win. Yeah.
You didn't win
if
shit.
you don't like, listen, so that you know how arguments work.
This is going to be.
You give refutations. You give refutation of what a person said. You can't double down and say I self-proclaim myself to be a hypocrite, and then by my standard of me being a hypocrite, by my standards, you are too. I don't hold the same standards, and gave you the refutation.
Let's move on. This is going to be
okay. We'll go on. So let's go. Let's move on to the.
This is what the left always does. They bring you into the weeds and then complain about being in the weeds every time.
Woke right then.
Okay.
Okay. So can I get a definition of the woke right?
Yes, it is a group of people that engage in identity politics, a victim mentality, with a hyperfixation on race, and I would say that the closest group that sort of, I think, embodies
a hyperfixation on race, or we tried the liberal route, which liberal is just anti-white at this point with the manifestation of it. We tried the liberal route where everyone's equal, but it seems like all other groups are allowed to unify as an identity group except for white people. So now, white people, my favorite is Eric Arval with Return to the Land, are saying, oh, well, now we're going to advocate for ourselves just like how you are. So he's claiming that as being obsessed while supporting Israel. Okay. Let's keep listening.
The entirety of it would be the Groyper movement, right? Where
okay.
the left has the evil white the evil white capitalist is the source of.
Well, hang
all
on.
of
Can we
my
just stay with the definition first, and I just make sure I get it down correctly? So a group of people who engage in identity politics and
identity politics.
Very important. When someone starts listing things, you stop them dead in their tracks and go, let's ground this. Let's do these one at a time. Let's write these down. Because he can already tell, I assume Andrew can already tell this guy's going to change what he's saying constantly. So now let's ground the argument that you're making so then we can do a self-critique, so to speak. An internal critique, I'm sorry.
Politics have a victim mentality.
Okay.
Write them down.
They have a hyperfixation on race.
Okay.
Whereas, let's say, like, my race is better than yours, right?
Got it. Yep.
Moral superiority, or I guess that would be identity politics. And what's the other one? I can't remember what I said. Victim mentality, race, and identity politics. Those are the three, I would say, main tenets. Oh, I'm sorry. The fourth one is, and the final one, there's four, is the tactics of coercion and exclusion. Essentially, cancel culture. When you disagree with them, it's group.
Is there an overrepresented minority that might fit the bill on some of these coercion and exclusionary claims, and that's for a different night. Okay, that's for a different night, because it'll consume me. I can't go to fist for that. I can't do it.
Think mob mentality where they will attack the people who disagree.
Got it. So just to make sure, woke right, a group of people engage in identity politics, victim mentality, hyperfixation on race, and utilize tactics of coercion and exclusion.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me why our founding fathers weren't woke right?
Yeah.
Terrific argument. I don't know if any of you guys have already heard this argument. People have tried to use it on James Lindsay because he's Mr. Founding Fathers, just like this other fake constitutionalist. So James Lindsay could never respond to it. He always has to obfuscate. So now you got your hands on one of them. Let's see if we can dig our fucking heels into them,
Yes, I can actually.
Okay.
So we have the founders who, let's say, exclusion.
Let's see. So they're a group of people who definitely engaged in identity politics in a very big way.
Yes.
They definitely had a victim mentality.
Well,
they
emphasize individual rights and moral.
they had it. Well, hang on. I'm just going by your criteria.
Andrew Wilson does this better than anyone else I've ever seen on the right. He deconstructs the deconstructionists. He postmodernizes the postmodernists. He knows their use of language is going to be so abstract that it can apply to anything. So he has them ground what they're saying, and then he knows for identity politics. That's what you can't have a politic without an identity. So, if he was having a conversation with somebody on the right, he wouldn't be having it this way at all. But this is what his interlocutor deserves. Yes, let's use these as abstractly as possible to use them against you, because that's what you people do against us all the fucking time. Let's go, Andy, baby.
They had a hyper fixation on race, and they definitely practiced coercion and massive exclusion. They excluded women. They excluded minorities. They basically excluded everything. They even excluded Jews. They excluded everybody who wasn't a far Western European Christian. That would be mostly Britain and France.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely had a fixation on race. They definitely had a victim mentality. They were saying that England was persecuting them.
Yeah, we're arguing this.
Yeah. So how is it that they don't fit? How is it that our founders don't fit every single criteria of the woke right?
Because it's 2025.
That's not an argument.
Because it's the current year. Dude, no shame. Could any of you, if any of you were having a debate with Andrew Wilson, could you ever confidently, without shame, defer to the current year as your rebuttal to what he's saying?
If woke right was created in 1776, you could make this argument.
So right? Was George Washington woke right?
Yeah. Again, I'm not playing this.
Can he answer my question? Was George Washington woke right?
And so this is really consistent with what you see on with the kosher centrists, where they claim to be constitutionalist, they claim to be conservative, but it's only a post-World War II liberalized version of history, right? They're not actually. That's why, like, a paleo-conservative, paleo just means old, original, conservative. Like, they are claiming these terms only with this bastardized version of what it means. Like, things were very racist, very anti-Semitic. Those aren't real things, but to them, right? Like, how are you going to act like the country has always held your liberal values right now when, like, they had slaves and whatnot? Like, there's a lot of things to work out. And to invoke history and be like, yeah, I'm pro the founding fathers. It's like, you haven't thought that position through, have you? We saw it with Joel Berry on fucking Tim Pool, and it's going to be reoccurring, and we're going to fucking shove their noses in it over and over again.
No, because it didn't exist.
Oh, because it didn't exist.
You're asking me to.
Okay.
Was George
okay. Can I ask you? Let me ask a different question then.
He has no universal principles. He's a postmodernist, which I think Andrew's identifying here very well.
George Washington engaged in identity politics.
Again, identity politics. The founders emphasize now for their time. They emphasize individual rights, moral agency over group identity. They endorsed broader principles, right? For example, equality under the law. Now, I understand that there was
for everybody.
All equality was a different word.
Equality was a different word back then. Don't you love it? Airmate Discourse, $5, mate. Thank you. You might want to watch the distributist in some of his debates with leftists. He disassembles their arguments with machine-like efficiency. I hear about the distributist a lot. I'm having trouble recalling who exactly. Has he been on Adam and Sitch? Is that where I've seen him in passing? I am very new to like the intellectuals of like right-wing dissident thought. I just can't put a face to who you're talking about, but I'm very like peripherally familiar with him, if that makes sense. But thank you.
So it wasn't for everybody. So they definitely practice exclusion. We can agree on that.
Under the law.
Oh, Dave Green. Okay, that paints a better picture. Yeah.
Law of their time.
So we can definitely say they practice
Well, they
exclusion.
said equality under the law.
Would you say that? Would you say slavery is coercion?
Under that law?
Yeah.
No, that they
Under that law. See how nothing is universal? It's a leftist, but he's got the hat on and he goes hunting and he likes women, allegedly, and he loves the Constitution and he's a conservative. Dude, fucking LARPer. Excommunicate him, excise him, expulsion now, expulsion yesterday. TMPD.
No,
they didn't view slavery the same way.
So slavery was not coercion.
You're trying to create a false equivalency between.
Then why did they outlaw international slavery? Why did our founders outlaw international slavery and they only used localized slavery?
9 out of the 13 colonies were against slavery. Slavery was on its way out before this country was.
International slavery was. Slavery persevered until the late 1800s.
Oh, I know
when we had
it.
a
I
civil
know
war.
it did. I'm not saying it was.
But they.
I'm sorry. Who debated Joe Barry on Boyce and when did that happen? Please and thank you.
Definitely can you just answer my questions?
I think
they definitely practiced exclusion and coercion.
Not under their laws.
Okay, so how did they not practice exclusion under
Because
their laws?
under their laws, those exclusions were legal.
So as long as it's legal, it's so
tenets of the woke right.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Them say lawfully that they want to do these things.
I think I've heard it differently than.
Well,
you,
when or where?
I'm sorry, I just lost the time stamp.
Right, he's making it very complicated. I think that.
But he appeals to the law. How much of a
okay? Go ahead.
The best stab at it is
it's against the law. That's all you can say. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that human beings
to appeal to the law. Yeah, but it was legal, dude. When's his baby's first debate? He's already debated Andrew Wilson before. He's gonna bring that fucking argument, dude. Are you kidding me?
And I know that you'll probably say that's an identity. Human beings would probably just reject that just naturally, instinctually, right? So instinct. So yes, again, you can reduce this all to everything can be.
Yeah, but who cares if that doesn't make the claim it's immoral because people reject it.
But yeah, identity politics again, right? Where it's a hyperfixation, where this is what I am. I am a.
See, this is what the moos do to you. It's white supremacy. You're hyperfixated on it as they're hyperfixated on themselves. Hyperfixated. This is what they do with ultranationalism, which is what they call nationalism. This is your advocacy is a hyperfixation. These are the moo tactics that are honestly, it is a personality disorder. It needs to be added to the DSM.
A blank, right? Putting us into these little mini.
Well, you have to do that because otherwise you have no
100%.
identity.
And that's
You are a Christian identitarian.
All we're trying to do is say that yes, identity is what we are all arguing. What people like me are doing is saying your identity is woke, right?
Okay, but if it is the case that the criteria matches completely with your own ideology, you would also be included in this woke. So if you're hyper-focusing on identity politics, which you are, if it is the case that you trumpet your Christianity as being the main corset of your identity, which it must be, because if I separated Christianity from you, the person, you are no longer the same person, correct?
When I argue politics, my constitutionality is the main argument.
Yeah, but your constitutionality is forming through a prism of Christian ethics, or you don't know how to apply it, right?
Again, it's a spectrum.
So that's like the hyper-focusing on identity politics. It's the same thing as a racialist.
No, I think when you go with the Constitution, you're going off an objective set of facts, right?
Oh, let's do it, dude. Yep, objective. A Christian calling them objective.
And a subjective state of facts.
Well, no, like we have the Constitution. It's essentially the rule book.
No. Listen. Okay, well, fine. If it's objective.
Has it been amended? Like, dude, Have you really heard any of the kosher centrists that claim to be constitutionalists or conservatives even be able to have like baby's first conversation about the fucking Constitution?
Then, are you saying that rights exist objectively?
Yeah. The
Okay,
United
where?
States,
Show me where.
The United States has
Yeah.
these inalienable. Obviously, there's the inalienable rights.
Yeah.
And then there's the laws.
Yeah,
right?
but where do they exist?
In the Constitution.
Yeah, but where? Where do these rights exist in reality, except in your brain?
What? Dude, you're losing me.
Yeah. So do you have a right to own a gun?
Yes, under the
Okay, you have a right to own a gun under the Constitution, right?
Yes.
But isn't that just a concept? Like you don't actually have that
Again,
right?
Yes. Again, you can do that. You can do this all day, where you reduce it down to.
He could just say yes, but do you see this obfuscation tactic? He is using a tactic. So the first thing he does is accuse Andrew of using a tactic when he could just say yes to allow the conversation to linearly progress.
Well, this isn't even a reduction. I'm just clarifying the statement that that rights are conceptual.
It's just the Second Amendment is just this nuanced thing that we.
No, it's not nuanced. I think the Second Amendment. Here, let me give it to you. I'll just tell it to you off the top of my head. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I could go down a bunch of them, a big line of them. I know the Constitution inside and out. Right? Not every preamble which has ever existed in it, but I could probably even reference a lot of those. But the thing is that these are axiomatic concepts. The axiom being.
Looks like we have a newbie in chat over here asking me if I've read something. Fellas, read him the Riot Act for asking me that question, okay?
It's one nation under God. That's an axiom. This is saying we hold these truths to be self-evident. That's the axiom, right? That these rights are inalienable under God. This is axiomatic, right?
And all
but that's conceptual because if you go to other countries, you don't have these rights, right?
I guess I don't.
Yeah,
know.
so they're not inalienable, really, except as far as we can enforce them, right?
We hold them to be self-evident, right? All men are created equal.
Yeah,
right?
but an axiom is something which you consider to be a self-evident truth. That's what an axiom means.
Correct.
Okay, so this would be an axiom, right? To them, it's self-evident, but you go to a different culture, it's not self-evident.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Right? Like.
So then these are not objective truths, and they're subjective truths.
Sure.
Yeah. So if it's subjective, these are subjective truths.
That is the bitchiest, most passive-aggressive way to make a fucking concession. Sure. If it makes you feel better. Yeah, sure.
Truths that we're leaning into. Then when you say, no, I go off of an objective truth, which is the Constitution, you don't actually. You go off of a subjective truth, which you use your identitarian prism in order to say, no, I actually believe that these rights are inalienable, not just axiomatic, but they're justified on God himself.
So
that would be the core of your identitarianism.
Sure. Okay, so you're saying there is no woke right because everybody has identity.
At least on the identitarian front.
So you can make your argument.
Only on the identitarian front would I make this case.
Your argument that I could use against you is there's no woke left either.
No, well, when we say woke on the left, we're talking about
what is woke on the left?
Yeah, so that would be.
Thank you, Blue, for the shapes that you sent. I appreciate it.
Intersectional politics, which is based specifically on elevating one victim class over another victim class.
That's woke right.
Yeah, but it's not though, and I'm going to explain why. But I'll give the counter too for each one of these definitions for how it applies to woke left and intersectionality, but not the right, who rejects intersectionality. All of them, in fact, kind of categorically reject intersectionality. But that doesn't mean that they don't have to play within the purview of the left. So imagine it this way, politically. So
he's not listening. Look at Misfit Patriot. He's not listening at all whatsoever.
When you and I are debating, we both have a distinct worldview, right? Yes. Like it's a distinct way that we view the world. If the left views the entire world through intersectionality, when you're talking to them, you're talking about them through that view. That's all that they understand is that view. So if you destroy their arguments, you're destroying them inside of that view of the left. That's what you're doing. So if people force intersectionality, woke leftists force intersectionality on the right, then the right has every right to reduce that to rubble by saying, oh, if that's the case, that we're doing people group elevation, we should also be able to elevate whichever people group we decide should be elevated. You're using their worldview as a weapon against them. That is not you purposely adopting this as some type of precept for your ideology. It's a way to reduce their ideology to fucking rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
So by using their own hyperfixation on intersectionality, then the woke right is using their own hyperfixation on intersectionality to sort of reduce their argument and elevate
so
their
think
own,
of it,
which turns them into woke right.
No, they wouldn't be woke right still. Well, they wouldn't actually follow the same concepts.
Because they don't actually believe it. Okay, let me try to explain this. This is defensive violence. I don't believe in offensive violence. If somebody is violent toward me, I will be violent to stop them, right? I am not a violent person. I am going to have to meet their energy and meet their tactic to subdue them and stop them from what they're doing, right? So this is what's being said about like, okay, well, if we're doing identity politics, then okay, then why can't the whites do that? You're as obsessed as they are. Have you fucking looked around society, dickhead? Nope. Wish we were. But no, we're not.
So it would be like this.
They do though.
A kid says,
it's white.
a kid says that oven's not hot, and I say, yes, it is. You're going to burn your hand if you touch it. No, I won't. And you say, well, go ahead, touch it. And they touch it, and they burn their hand. You're like, ha, Andrew, look at that. You're guilty, just like him, of thinking that the oven was, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. It's like, look, when you go into people who identify in identity politics, we have to agree that all of us are hyper focused on identity politics. There's no way around it. When you say a victim mentality, right? Do you think that it's legitimate that, like, don't you agree that there is a lot of actual victims who are white who have been victimized by the DEI of the left? Like, that's a legitimate grievance, isn't it?
Yeah, they would argue this. The woke left would argue the same thing.
Yeah, but you're using their view to point out that by your view, woke leftists, the grievances that you would hold in racial categories, we also would have a stake in by your metrics.
And you're proving my point.
That's not a proof of your point. It's a proof of the rejection of the ideology.
But they engage in the same thing.
They're not engaging in it. They're just pointing out the absurdity of it.
No, but then they
All right, so let's wind this down. I'm not looking to do this for super long tonight. Really, what I'm trying to do is increase my XP for streaming solo. Working on the intro and outro. Let's wind down because I mean he's never gonna get it. Oh no, he's never gonna get it. But you know, that's not. He's just. It's fun to analyze some of these cows. You know, you see him out and about. You'll see him pop up somewhere, and you'll go, "How the hell is someone talking to this person?" So let's wind down with his trial, his felony trial. Well, would you look at that with your eyes? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now, what you'll get, 5 of you. Thank you very much. What you'll get with that is a recent stream I did that was hard R's only, that was 7 hours long. That's what happens when I let the fellas up to speak, okay? Very organic, very unique. I imagine not a lot of content creators would have a piece of content like that, but I don't know. I have no idea. That's how it felt, though. Felt real to me, damn it. But thank you very much for that.
Okay, so today I went on trial for assault and battery on an elderly person. Now let's address a couple of things. First of all, the suit that everybody's really upset about.
So we're definitely going to believe everything he says right now, right? Based on what I've shown you. I didn't even get you anything. Here, I didn't know we were doing gifts. Thank you so much. It's like a Secret Santa. It's like a Yankee swap. What's going on here? I didn't bring a gift. You guys are bringing gifts? You gotta let me know next time. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. But we can all agree that we're going to believe him about his felony assault on an elderly person, right? I feel like I've built him up long enough where you can really trust his word.
Yes, it is a real Armani, but no, it's probably not. I don't know. This was a gift. Like, I don't know. It's from Bangkok, so yeah, $5,000. Do you really think that's a $5,000 suit? Come on. Second of all, yes, this is 100% the type of room that you kill a hooker in. Because I mean, I'm not spending a lot of money to come up to Boston and just go to court.
Yeah, this motherfucker lives in Texas now. He used to live in Norwood, like less than an hour from me when he originally had his business here. I tell you, we make some crazy motherfuckers here. Wow. Guys, return those. Don't take those. Those are illegitimate and they won't work, okay? Scammer, okay? Don't trust anything. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What's wrong with me? I don't know, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But I am heating up French fries on a hot plate in my Sinesta.
How lonely is this guy, dude? He's okay. Just think of it. Think of it. You're 40, maybe 41. You're taking a video of yourself explaining to everyone about your felony lawsuit about beating up an elderly person, and you're making French fries in a pan. Nigga, put that shit in the oven or raise the oil level. Sweet mother of God. Wow, that is probably the most offensive thing I've seen him do the entire night. What a pathetic fucking pussy. Oh my God. Log off, dude. Have a life, for the love of God. I'm telling you, does this fucking guy look like he's capable of being alone for a fucking 5 minutes? Does he look like he can be alone? Oh my God, dude.
French fries on a hot plate in my Sinesta Inn. Okay, finally. No, today didn't go as planned. Didn't go as expected. It actually went better. It went a lot better. It went so much better. Like, this is insane.
The fucking cope laugh, dude. The constant need. Like, this is what I'm saying, though. Like, this is like a dangerously mentally ill person, right? Like, when he gets someone alone, he will lie, he will say and do whatever the fuck he wants. He can't keep a woman around for 2 fucking weeks, dude. Like, fuck this dude.
Hey, hold on, let me just shuffle my fries around a bit. Okay, hold on. Let's turn that off and talk about what happened today. So, if you're one of my stalkers and you believe everything you fucking read on the internet,
you're obsessed with everything. He's being stalked. He's main character fucking syndrome like a motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a separate bedroom. No big deal. Sinesta Inn's fucking $115 a night. Free upgrade. If you believe everything that you...
I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Is he cooking French fries in a pan at a fucking hotel? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he cooking French fries in a pan at a hotel? Am I missing something? It's looking hotel-y. That's what he's doing. If you're in a hotel, why the fuck are you cooking? If you have all this fucking money and you're in a hotel, why are you cooking French fries in a fucking pan, you psycho? Check his trunk, check his hard drive, check everything, check the closet, check under his hat, check everything.
You see on the internet, you think that I beat up an old person. Good for you. I'm glad that you have goals. If you don't, then you probably would have looked up the arrest record of the victim in this case. Whoops.
Oh, yeah. That guy totally doesn't fuck kids at all. Totally not. Nope. You can trust that guy around your kid. No fucking problem, dude. Here's the thing. You make it so appetizing, so appealing to program Grok to say that you were arrested for molesting children. You make that a good day for me. You did that to yourself. You made your bed, now lay in it without kids by yourself.
So, the old lady, grandmother, dying mom that I beat up, according to fucking weirdos on the internet, some of which were in the courtroom today, by the way. That's crazy. Nah, it was some scumbag.
Dude, is it making anyone feel violent, his bitchy affect? Like, I'm starting to really hit the fucking threshold over here. Okay, yeah. I really fucked a kid. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No. Yeah. I totally beat up an elderly man. Oh yeah, I just wake up in the morning and I just go beating up an elderly man. That's what I do. Yeah, okay, that's what I do. Oh my dear Lord, brother, do not use the TikTok stuff. Ian Carroll can use the TikTok strategy, okay? Because he's actually disseminating information. Do not do drama videos on TikTok. Please, dude, don't do it. Very suspicious. Very affinity for prepubescent behavior you're engaging in over here, but go ahead.
Who jumped me in a hotel lobby, like I told you, and he's got a little bit of a history.
He got jumped in a hotel lobby. We need to find this man's name. We need to find his address, and we need to do a retrial, okay? You're telling me that this fucking guy got randomly attacked out of nowhere? Yeah, fucking right, dude. You know the waterworks happened at the fucking trial, right? For him to get out of... Dude, there's no way he didn't deserve an ass beating by a fucking old guy. There's no way!
That's not even the craziest part of this story. So while I was in court today, somebody emailed the prosecutor trying to get evidence, aka tweets, submitted. This is still not the craziest part. This is just like a little side quest. And of course they weren't admitted into evidence because they're fucking tweets.
You guys know when you're by yourself and you're taking a video of yourself in a hotel room, you know, cooking fries on the stove, and just by yourself, you're talking, you go, you know, we all know what his, oh my God, look at his fucking eyes. Dude, every fucking, it's EFAP. Every frame is a pedo over here. My dear Lord. You know when you're by yourself in your hotel room, you have enough money for a hotel room, but you're cooking fries on the stove, and you're by yourself and you go, you know, we're all like that. We're all Misfit Patriot, aren't we?
Retard. Nah, actually, you know what the craziest part was? The craziest part was like the old lady that I supposedly beat up, according to the internet. They had Fifth Amendment rights, and they were like, fuck it.
What is this fucking cope-laugh?
According to the internet, they had Fifth Amendment rights, and they were like, fuck it. They were like, let's take this to the hoop. I supposedly beat up, according to the internet. They had Fifth Amendment rights, and they were like, fuck it. They were like, let's take this to the hoop.
This fucking cope laugh. Okay. Well, fellas, these are casual pop-up streams that I'm going to do. Because before I was doing streams, I kind of like had to try and make myself edit a video, but now if there's not like a video to edit, I can just, you know, do a little deeper dive on a cow, right? Maybe a Joel Berry, maybe a Seth Dillon. I don't know. I don't really know. But we got a couple of bookmarks or something over here. Come on, it's gotta be. Oh my fucking God. Do you know who this is? This is somebody. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what kind of person actually goes on his show? What kind of person actually talks to him? Well, this guy does.
Hi, My name's Jake Donnelly, and I like to refer to myself as the red, white, and blue Jew. That's because I love the United States of America, and I know that the United States of America is the best country in the world.
If you had a gun to my head and you said, say you're the red, white, and blue Jew, I go, I'm the red, white, and blue Jew. They go, no, mean it. I would go, here, I'm hungry. Can you just put the barrel of that in my mouth?
Hi, my name's Jake Donnelly, and I like to refer to myself as the red, white, and blue Jew. That's because I love the United States of America, and I know that the United States of America...
That is the kind of person that he has on there. We can wind down with this. Okay. And there's this guy. You know, I don't feel like doing a deep dive on this guy. They look at TikTok and X and they think that it's real engagement and they got their setup and they think it's real and good for them. But how do you just ignore how this fucking guy behaves on the internet?
It's the right move for America whatsoever, because we have very...
Yeah, okay. This is where we're going to edit. We're going to listen to these guys tell you about masculinity, okay?
Because we have people that are vulnerable in their situations. Their minds are very malleable right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of young people who are just frustrated, and to them, you know, he's checking some of the boxes, maybe not all of them, but he's just representing opposition.
Well,
right
the reactionary right has valid grievances, right? It's like
Absolutely.
if you
can we agree that like these hats come off as like white dudes for Harris hats? See, we like America. They have to show it. See, that is virtue signaling. Imagine if fucking Andrew Wilson wore like an Orthodox hat. Yeah, that would be virtue signaling. I'm sorry. Let me try that again.
ostracize young white straight men from society and tell them that they're evil and wrong, they're going to look to somebody like a Nick Fuentes, right? But the problem is when the reactionary right is just the mirror image of the woke left, where your solution to the problem is to essentially do everything they're doing to them.
But therein lies the question, though: is Nick representing anything that is considered the right?
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Which is why horseshoe theory exists. It's so if you look at
can we agree that like the female emotional mind, and it's valid, like if you've had to deal with a woman on her period, and I've had to live with them, fellas. I've had to live with women on their periods, and not only did I do that, but I didn't give a fuck, and I still said what I wanted to say when they were on their periods. 5-hour fights, don't give a shit. We're not together anymore. But anyway, when a woman's very emotional on her period, right? You just go for just women all across the age spectrum. Everything will feel the same, because if they're like mad, then everything makes them mad. It's a very emotional attitude to have, where you just can't see the difference in anything.
See Germany, and you know, I've said this so many times. I don't think Nick is an actual Nazi. I think Nick is more of a trans Nazi, right? Where it's like he's presenting as a Nazi, but he's not really one, right? Where it's like you can present as a female and still have a dick, right? I think that Nick is a trans Nazi in the sense where he's putting on the costume and he's trying to be part of the group and he wants to be accepted into that society. But he is a Mexican fucking twink. Okay, Hitler would fucking end him. You know, like it's. And by the way, real neo.
He thought his co-host was gonna sell that. He just thought he gave him a fucking stunner, and the guy didn't even go to his knees. He took that stunner like Scott Hall, except he just stood right back up. True fellows know that one.
Real neo-Nazis, by the way, would beat the fuck out of Nick, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think it's
there's about
a situation where people romanticize about, you know, this ultra-wide.
Here, we always venerate the based wife, fellas. We are never jealous. We always venerate the based wife. Very happy for you.
Society, this Nazism, that the thing is, we're so many generations removed from what those realities were.
Yeah.
And that people are trying to romanticize what it might mean. And this whole revisionist history bullshit that, started, with Daryl Cooper, by the way.
Yeah, Daryl Cooper started the revisionist history of the post-World War II consensus. Sure, he's not trying to correct the record. They can't exactly say specifically what he's wrong about, but okay.
With all like, well, Hitler wasn't so bad, misunderstood. It was really Winston Churchill that started World War II. Like all this stuff that's been going on. Unfortunately,
fellas, can we get a waterfall of hands that heal for the based wives in chat that actually listen to the stream, please? That's incredible. Very fortunate men in the chat. Very happy for you.
If your whole life is social media, and this is where you get all your information, it's basically the if you tell a lie enough, it becomes a truth. And
Sure.
I think that's what's going on. And I think with Nick is I'm going to circle back, and I'm going to say that I think you have a valid point here. Maybe he's not a full-on Nazi. Maybe he was using this just.
Oh my God! Every conversation. Maybe he's not a full Nazi. Okay, maybe we can get him on something. Maybe he's like fashy
to get attention. But now that he's here in his face, he doesn't know how to back out of it. He just has to lean into it.
Well, think about it like this, right? The trans community is what, 1% of the population. So you think it, but it's a big problem. 1%. Yes. It's the tyranny of the minority, which is what Nick is. This is why when you say trans Nazi, it actually does kind of fit into all the same the same characteristics of the trans movement. Small problem, but a big problem, right? Because
based noticing wife in chat. Hell yeah, fellas.
It's an ideology that's based completely outside of reality, right?
Okay, so every once in a while, sometimes, if you see me do a stream and it's checking in on and then person, it'll just be like a chill, like shallow deep dive on him. Because that's pretty easy. I didn't have to do too much research on it. It's just I'll see so many things on him, and I like to just try to, condense it all into one area. Fellas, if you can clip some of this stuff, that would be fantastic as well. Really to antagonize him and to put me on his radar. If I would be on his radar, that would be really fun. If you think this is fun, wait until he puts me on his radar. Then you'll see things that are really fun. And speaking of things that are really fun, I'm a child.
Artie and Fist, you can be sure that we're both on the list. Artie and Fist, you can be sure that we make the moose piss.
Bro, I swear to God, you don't have to put in any prompts for this fucking thing. It just feels it out. It's absolutely incredible. But anyways, fellas, thank you very much for hanging out on this surprise stream. And I'm going to send us out with a bang right now. Yeah, so I don't really know how to end things. This is why I need Fist. I don't know how to say goodbye. I don't know. In person, I'll just leave. I'm so bad at this, but thank you, fellas. Actually, yes. Go on to Kick and Rumble, please, for the love of God. The last stream that we did, there was a copyright issue. We went down for 5 minutes. So please make sure that, you can watch wherever you want, but obviously all of the action is on YouTube. But make sure it's in the description for the Kick and the Rumble channel that these do go out at the same time too, for that one day. It wasn't always like this, right? Being able to do right-wing content like this on YouTube wasn't always like this, and it's not always going to be this way. It's going away at some point. So I'm trying to rack up as much as I can now and plan for that inevitable horrific thing happening. So let me see how this works with the outro video.
Let's check in on the Misfit Patriot. He's an embarrassing fat ass. Fake name Misfit, real name Zachary. loves to brag when he bangs a slag. He's half in the bag, but he's fully a fag. Watch your mouth, old beat up old folk. Thinks he knows about everything woke. He doesn't know anything about his faith. He's losing his mind like he's losing debates. He thinks he's an American badass, but he's just an embarrassing fat ass. Let's check it on the Misfit Patriot, the fisted Patriot.